Yo! Yo! What up, everybody? The crew is back. John Escudero, Greg Thomas, Nick LaRocco. We're here to talk the last 7 days of professional wrestling. How you doing, guys?
Doing all right. I am only about 1 hour from having finally watched the most recent WWE pay-per-view, so it is fresh on my mind.
Oh, nice.
Because it was mostly boring as hell.
They're gonna rip your ass apart for that. You love that.
Let them.
I love that shit. Hey, listen, I watched the pay-per-view. I had fun with it. I thought you got everything you could want out of a WWE pay-per-view. You got out of it. You got all of the plot development. You got all the storylines. Angles.
I will say that on a positive note.
That's all you get. Like, I mean, if I'm gonna turn on a WWE show, right? Depending on the card, I'm not really expecting. And sometimes even if the card looks like it has some awesome ass matches, I'm not even expecting the matches to hit like that. I don't know. Maybe it's because, like you said, us three, we've been watching wrestling for a long time. A
very long time.
There's a lot more that we have to compare it to. So right. I mean, I try to keep that in mind. Like, I really try to keep that in mind when I'm watching WWE. As I say, it's just because of the way my taste works. I just try to go in knowing that the matches are not always gonna be where the story's told and where nothing's happened. As a matter of fact, a lot of times they used to be encouraged to fucking sit on rest holds and piss off the crowd on purpose. Like, sit down for 10 minutes and then when they think it's gonna get better, lock it back in. Like, brother, I will shoot you. I ain't paid to see this shit.
Yo, have you guys seen Reliving the War? Let me tell you, the amount of times on both shows for WCW and WWF Raw and their SmackDowns, you get those rest holds, you get those chin locks in there, and they stay. And that is basically the next 5 minutes that you are stuck with.
So,
I used to generally hate the term rest hold, but sometimes looking back at the older stuff, like, I get why.
I get why it works. That was just an example. I'm just.
Yeah. No, I think it's worse in some of the old stuff than it is like later, where they're just like, as you said, they are just sitting in a chin lock.
You know what it is though? It worked in 1970, 1980, even into the 90s. But Vince was telling Jinder Mahal to do that in 2017. You know what I'm saying?
They had him with a chin lock.
He came out and said that in an interview the other day.
Show him your biceps.
That was his instructions. And I mean, and the joke is that Randy sits in the rest hold for a long time. It's because he does.
Oh man! Do you guys remember? Was it a Raw After Mania match where it was Randy Orton versus Sheamus, and it was rest hold after rest hold after rest hold, and the crowd would trash the whole match?
And Randy gonna get mad at them, like they did something wrong.
So anyway. I think it's interesting, right? And I think it depends on like the actual frequency of the work and the way it's being presented. As somebody who has sat through a match where, John, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, where Bryan Danielson works a headlock for the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It is not the same thing.
You know what? Exactly. That's the difference, right? If you're working the headlock, then you're working. Right, you're doing things. He's trying to fight out of it, and you're just not letting go. And it looks like he's gonna get out of it, and you're just not letting go. But when
then he gets out of it, and then you're right back in the headlock. You're like, motherfucker,
right? That's awesome. But when you just sit in that motherfucker, anyway,
and then you're like because you've seen this 500 times before, you're just waiting for the or my favorite, and I'm guilty of doing it. I laugh. Can I tell you how hard it was when I sat in a chin lock? When I sat in a chin lock, John, and just to see if it would work, because I'm a rookie and nobody in this building knows me, and I started doing the whole foot on the mat thing, and it started working, and people started clapping, and I was like, oh fuck, I realize why people do this easy shit.
It's moments like that where you eureka and you have it, and it changes who you are as a wrestler. Though.
Why do I ever work hard ever again?
Yeah.
Work
It changes
smarter,
your
not
life.
harder.
Well, Elliot, I wanted to say what's up, and like I said, Elliot said SummerSlam was fire. He can't wait for All In.
Glad you enjoyed it, brother.
My match of the night for SummerSlam was clearly the Gunther Damian Priest match for me. They just beat the shit. He beat the shit out of Damian Priest. Damian cut him off, got a little bit in, got betrayed, right to Gunther as world champion. It was basic pro wrestling, and it was what I came for. I know some people like the CM Punk match as their match of the night. Were you on that boat, Greg?
I'd honestly have to rewatch it, but I get why it was.
You would have known.
Fuckery.
You don't gotta rewatch it. You would have known. It would have hit you when you watched it. Like, this is the one. This is good. I actually thought it had a lot of good story moments, but CM Punk was noticeably tired very early on. But Max says, wasn't there a match between Randy Orton and Danielson on Raw where Randy worked the head with the entire match with a kendo stick, and then they stopped the match because Bryan legitimately got concussed on a dive? Yes,
sounds right.
That was a street fight, and I actually remember. I really liked that match. Yeah. Bryan tells a story in his book about.
Is that the one where he screams at Hunter about it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. He actually gets into a full real life argument with Triple H because they stopped the match on him. And that's, of all things on earth that Bryan Danielson does not want touched is his fucking art.
Even if he's dying, he must continue that match.
And unfortunately, that might be his mindset right now. We should talk about that. Yeah. I want to talk about that.
That is absolutely his mindset.
That's something that's been on my mind heavy lately because as you all know, Bryan Danielson is winding down what we thought was his full-time career, right? He had been, let me get to it, right? He had been very, very vocal about how he wants to wrestle until he fucking dies. He doesn't want to retire, right? He just wants to wrestle forever.
He's going Dory Funk Jr. this shit.
But this was going to be his last full year.
Yeah.
So he took the year and he filled it with all of every possible match that he could ever wanted. That he possibly had left. The Blue Panther match, the Will Ospreay match, the Okada match, the Zack Sabre Jr. match, the Shibata match.
It's been something of a wish fulfillment tour, you would say.
It is the final countdown tour, even if it doesn't have the name attached to it, right?
Oh, get ready. They will.
It should have. Because they own it. Like, they own Ring of Honor, too. Like, you've nobody to fight you for it. Anyway, Bryan has the match with Ospreay. And then I noticed that, in my mind, I have a theory that he might have actually burned out his entire battery in that match.
Ooh. I feel like I saw this at Kurt.
Yeah, I think that in an effort to give us everything, to give himself everything that he can get out of this, because I think he knew that there wasn't going to be a rematch, or if there was, it wasn't going to be anytime soon. He laid it literally all out there, and then ever since then, they did the brawl. He was in the Anarchy in the Arena, but you know how brawls go, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're a lot easier. As much more spectacle that it is, right? It's a lot easier to wrestle than a one-on-one fucking 30-minute, 40-minute, however Bryan Danielson Will Ospreay match.
Exactly.
And then
because you can go through a whole brawl without really taking more than 5 bumps.
Yep.
And a lot of times too, you're getting slammed onto things that have a lot of give. Like, you don't think that getting slammed on that trash can is going to be as protective for him as it really is.
So, ever since then, I've noticed that the frequency of Bryan matches lowered, and then he did the Owen Hart tournament. And I think that Bryan again tried to give us everything that he could, but in this tournament, I think he found out that's not going to be possible anymore. And if you notice, his quality of the matches never faltered, but his body, and you start asking yourself, like, is this a performance? You know, like it maybe it's a work, you know, maybe they're working the neck because he did the Shingo match and he took the fucking neck breaker on the outside. You know, maybe it's got to be a work, but if you kind of read between the lines in these interviews and kind of seeing the way his schedule after the Owen Cup basically vanished, and then the shift in the Swerve Strickland storyline where all of a sudden he just put his career on the line. And then they made the point to say, like, I'll never wrestle again. And I was like, okay, well, this could all still be story, right? Sure, he could still be working. It could all be a work, right?
Plus, who never wrestles ever again?
Right?
Forever.
So he has,
that match was for Mick Foley's career, and he was at WrestleMania.
So here's another thing to remember too. When looking at the Owen Hart tournament, I got the schedule up right here. Remember, he was doing multi-man matches leading up to it, and then he had a couple weeks off, and then just that full Owen Hart tournament schedule for like a week or two consistently.
And then after that, nothing. But they schedule him for a match this week with Jarrett. And
the anything goes match, right?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't until it was.
Oh, I see.
I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, when did that happen? And then they worked the whole match, and Bryan barely, takes an actual bump. And so now I'm like, oh fuck. Like, I think he's actually going to retire at Wembley Stadium.
Which also props to Jeff Jarrett for being such a great, refined, protective performer.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's Jeff fucking Jarrett, right? If you want to go out there and have a safe match with a pro.
That's the one, especially in AEW.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Max says, I'm trying to convince myself it's a work rather than tell you that it's a work. Yeah, I mean,
the copium is heavy.
Listen, I'm definitely coping because I know that they booked the Tacoma Dome with the idea that Bryan would have his final match there. and how dire of a situation must it be if he can't even make it one more match past Wembley?
Looking at Cage Match right now, after the Ospreay Danielson match, where I think that's where he just spent his tank. Yeah. Every match following that has pretty much been a multi-man match, except for two, which were just the spectacles of him versus Satnam Singh and him versus Jarrett from tonight.
Isn't that the ugly Tiger Driver match where he fucking writhes in pain?
Yeah. But I think that part was the worst. I think Bryan is a sick, nasty man, and he definitely
loves to lie.
He definitely did those seizures.
I love lying.
But it is that match, and I think just the entire performance, just all of it, and possibly even that Tiger Driver. Maybe he didn't feel it there, but it's like, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's done. I think he might be done. And I think eventually his body will feel better, and maybe in his mind he'll be like, I should try it again. But I really think this is it, and that's kind of hard for me to deal with because I even thought I thought he'd get the one more match. I thought he'd go to Washington. I wanted to be there. I was gonna be there. Damn it.
Sure.
To see Bryan retire.
It is interesting for me. I guess I find myself a little conflicted in the sense that while I guess there's a part of it that's sad, I can only feel so bad because this was like his second shot.
It definitely wasn't supposed to happen, right? We were not supposed to have this. We're lucky to even have it.
This Shawn Michaels-esque second career one for Bryan.
Right.
it's been perfect the entire time too. Even the WWE half, like when he came back, he really got to be Bryan Danielson. Like they let him full on be a heel. They gave him a fucking custom WWE championship. They let him choose who he dropped the belt to. Like he had the full experience of a top guy that got robbed of with the injury first time, and then expired. He took so much from that he was bored with it. He had to go and become his ultimate self for the next 3 years.
There's two parts I want to take from that. One is like the idea that in the WWE, this small guy heel, whose whole heel shtick is just like the green earth thing, which on paper just sounds like a pitch that is going to die on the field. You know what I mean?
Right.
Two, I am deeply amused at the idea of Daniel Bryan going into another WrestleMania and just being like, I don't belong here. Why am I in this match?
In the main event at that, right?
Yeah, like he's in that place you work to be, and he's just like, this doesn't feel right.
Something's off here.
That was the craziest thing to me, and like it also spoke to like a certain level of awareness of that Bryan has that like I think is very interesting.
And I think I don't know at what point they realized that this might be it for Bryan a little sooner, but I wonder if that factored into even putting him in the main event at Wembley and shifting everything. Because it felt so off. It felt so weird out of nowhere. Like, what? Bryan getting his matches, great. I love Bryan Danielson, but all the other obvious matches were right there. How did we get to this destination?
For the Wembley show of all shows.
Yeah. Right. And kudos to TK, honestly, as a fan, like, to be like, fuck, just cleared the whole table. What do you mean? You're leaving? All right.
Sting treatment. Here you go.
50,000 people, main event. We have to. You're Bryan Danielson. And I'm sure Bryan is like, no. And it's like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That is the crux of it, right? You got put into a position where the obvious answer feels like the big blow off for Swerve and Adam Page, and then like this unexpected situation just goes like, well, we're doing the big retirement match, like, and like you said, you just know Bryan's just like, no, give it to the young guys, like, nope, nope,
absolutely.
I'm not waiting till you come around to Wembley next year and hope you're healthy, motherfucker.
Which even then, you can see Bryan being like, no, I'm still good. Like, yeah, give it to them, and I can just, do it in a few months. And like, no, Danielson, please.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. And speaking as a fan who watched it last for way too long, I'm going to bring him up again. I don't want the retirement match to be that Kurt Angle match. Where he could where he could barely move against Baron Corbin.
God, I had to be there for that.
It was rough leading into it because you could tell that like Kurt Angle was getting his pick of opponents those last few weeks on Raw.
Yeah,
and like
it was the best of too.
And like, he's getting to wrestle like his old TNA buddies, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and he can't even go with them. AJ Styles is like throwing himself 5 miles further than Kurt can actually throw him.
AJ Styles doing his best AJ Styles impression.
Yeah.
I guess, like you said, and I guess I should be grateful because not just Kurt, Undertaker wrestling for so many years beyond his expiration date really chipped away his legacy for me. Like, it really knocked him down.
And that was a guy who wasn't even going full time.
And it was rough. I know. And every time he came back, you'd be like, please don't. Like, like, why are you doing this? Of course, there's the Shawn Michaels. match that nobody talks about. Yeah, I could go on
What do you
forever.
mean?
It ended at 26 and will stay at 26.
Yeah,
We don't
that's what
go
it
past that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, I don't know about this. Sean retired on top.
some bald man went out there and called himself Shawn Michaels. That son of a bitch. I'll fucking catch him.
You can't
You,
keep
you know what it was? John, you've seen those posters of some of those Indian cards. That wasn't Hulk Hogan.
That was Bulk Hogan. Yeah.
Michael's Sean.
But yeah, that was the big thing for me because
Crown Jewel is non-canon.
I didn't see it coming, man.
You know though that like AEW is going to go above and beyond though for the whole retirement spectacle because look at everything that they did for Sting. You know that
Final
was
Countdown will be played.
Oh, you know it. You're going to have Final Countdown. You're going to have basically a best of. He'll get, I think even then, Nigel McGuinness will finally get that comeuppance and he's going to punch him square in the face or do something to him.
And now because they have all the footage, like it won't just be pictures of New Japan Sting.
Yeah.
But let's just say he does win. He wins the title from Swerve for whatever reason.
God, I can't be more afraid.
What does that even look like? Because like you said, if you look at that cage match, we've had him in plastic wrap for the past few weeks.
We didn't even have him in the multi-man blood and guts.
No. And they said too that there was a real life restriction placed on him. Medical restriction.
Really?
And Bryan changed the way the doctors told him he's going to have to change the way he wrestles. And he basically said in an interview that is not the way he wants to live out his life wrestling like that. So
kind of punk rock in its own way.
Which as an attitude, I could not respect more.
Right? Like that's so badass. That's punk rock.
I'd rather die. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Like
the doctor's
it goes two ways for me. It goes two ways for me. I respect the shit out of that attitude, but at the same time, that attitude says, "Okay, so we're done, right?"
Yeah. I mean, definitely done. That's the way I see it. That's why all these things make me think that Wembley Stadium is the end for Bryan Danielson. But that leaves AEW in a bit of a pickle too. I mean, you know what? They got the Tacoma a little bit. They got that whole ass 20,000 seat Tacoma Dome in Washington for the pay-per-view in October, and I'm pretty sure they were. I guarantee they wanted to do a big Bryan.
You think that was the title match?
That would have been the big Sting retirement situation.
That feels right
for sure.
It's sort of like the simplest difference, right? It's that one health scare makes you go Paige is winning in the finals to Paige is losing in the finals, and we're doing this immediately to like Paige is winning in the finals and we'll do Bryan in 2 months.
I would have done it that way, but
almost to me, I wonder if like they're gonna shift around the match with Swerve and Darby, so they still have like 2 Washington guys in the main event.
That's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly what I was about to say, because they already have. If Swerve wins at Wembley, he's already set up to face Darby Allin at Grand Slam. That's
a draw.
Yeah, that's a draw. Grand Slam has draws. Famously has draws. But yeah, for sure. I guess you have something built in already.
Shift and make a rematch at Wrestle Dream, and you at least will have your Washington guys. And hey, maybe have Danielson in some way, shape, or form there. You have to. You don't have to have him wrestle.
I want to point out this match that Mac highlighted. I was there.
I'll bring that comment up. It says, at least we'll always have Bryan versus Kenta at Ring of Honor Glory by Honor Night 2 from 2006.
I was there. It is still, to this day, the greatest wrestling match I've ever seen live and in person. I was in miserable shape because I had, like, swollen tonsils, and if anyone has ever gone through that hell, it is just utter misery consistently. So it's like, I'm trying to have a sip of water. Ow, pain, everything hurts. But it was one of the most incredible spectacles I'd ever seen. That Kenta run in 2006 is like the stuff of legend.
Absolutely.
And Bryan Danielson went into it hurt, so there was every reason I think Kenta was going to win that night, and that was to say I was on the edge of my seat would be to say I was probably floating in front of it.
You lucky piece of shit.
Remember when everyone thought that was going to be the Kenta that came to WWE?
I didn't.
It could have been, but
it could have been, but God, I knew. Jesus Christ! First off, I want to say it's not even just that Bryan Danielson tosses himself into the stage without a care in the world. Those seats at that venue are not pleasant to be jumped on
or sat on.
Yeah. Good Lord. Nor were the seats at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
But I guess I'll bring up the feed of news. Hello.
The news feed?
The feed of news, the news feed. It is the news.
The old Ring of Honor, or the old Ring of Honor news wire.
The news wire.
The way they pushed all their angles and you didn't have their DVDs.
Or the forums is where you used to be able to go see people talk shit about each other. You know, I stumbled upon this Facebook group. I don't know I don't want to say the name of it, but
speaking of hey,
that's a beautiful belt. I wish I owned one. Oh yeah, that's right, I do. Unavailable.
It's only like it's only like we nearly bankrupted ourselves at the last minute because there was only 3 left.
Had to at that point.
Had to be done. So what the fuck was I talking about? There was something I wanted to bring up.
Facebook group
on the news.
This Facebook. We're going to talk about the news in a second. Actually, this is a funny piece of news, and it came out of nowhere too. This Saturday, I guess they're gonna give this thing called AEW or TNT Overdrive, where it's like ridiculousness, but instead of Rob, whatever his name is, you get AEW wrestlers. Just kind of introducing clips of people.
So basically, what you're saying is that TNT is publishing an AEW React series.
Essentially, on television.
Depending on who you have for that sounds super entertaining. Not gonna lie.
It sounds like it
really does depend on who's there. Yeah,
that's just it.
Max says, I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I love that people come to Jonathan's personal page and tell him he's not a news source when he literally links the source of the topic in the article. Yeah, I can't vouch for people's reading comprehension skills, unfortunately, especially on Facebook. Anyway, you get on Facebook.
They gotta put you down, John.
Always have to.
They had this. It's like a deathmatch group, and all the promoters are in there and shitting on each other. It's weird. The fans talk with promoters, and the wrestlers go in there, and I'm like, this reminds me of the Ring of Honor forums. This is exactly the mess that used to happen in there.
This reminds me of that makes me think of CZW fans.
Kind of the same. It was always the same.
The early CZW era forums too were crazy.
Oh my
exactly
god!
Dude, that was literally like a Call of Duty lobby in terms of forum.
You mean like the Xbox 360 era lobbies?
Oh, Xbox 360 Call of Duty lobbies, everyone. Like,
yeah.
When you were in like the early mid 2000s,
you have to be clear because even though I didn't play it, I've heard the stories. So you have to be clear which era of hobby you're speaking of.
Dude, like 360 era and even like original Xbox era stuff. Like
when they weren't able to keep up with the racism.
That was the equivalent of those old forums.
Some of my greatest memories came from them damn Xbox 360.
John, how many children did you make cry?
It wasn't that you made the children cry. They were tough if they were on there. They were just as tough as you were. Honestly.
Some learned.
So that's where you grew up. But this Penta Phoenix thing. Let's talk about that. Pentagon and Phoenix Fightful.
Can we quickly talk about how Max says he used to fight with Gabe?
All right, talking about the forum stuff, you guys. We have to discuss what was everyone's personal favorite forum to go to.
Oh, I used to frequent a forum called WrestlingTV.net. It was a piracy.
Wow, that
forum.
I've never even heard of that one.
It was. This is how deep, right? It was thousands of us, right? But it was on the low because it was a piracy forum. We used to stream every show there, but we also had discussions all the time. And of course, there was like a hierarchy, and there's the people who make all the biggest posts, and the dude who makes the signatures. Remember having to get a signature done?
Yeah,
that was the best. I had an official signature.
Yeah, I had some cute ones when I just used images for them.
Where did you go, Greg?
So before I point out like my absolute favorite one, I'll shout out two. One was the Death Valley Driver page. That was a great one back in the day. That's when I like was sort of discovering like the indie scene and some of the Japan stuff. And obviously the Ring of Honor forums, because that's when I could like really just immerse myself in the Ring of Honor stuff. Also, the Ring of Honor forum page was really fun for me because they had an area dedicated to people who made music video edits, and that was my jam back in those days. So I love those little highlights to music and everything, and then you got some pretty creative people doing some of that cool stuff. My absolute favorite wrestling forum page was Puerto Wrestle Fan, because that was an education for me.
Strong Style Symphony.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's where I got my education in Japanese wrestling.
Bro,
not only was I getting matches, but I was learning.
Yes, they used to link. Yeah. They used to link all the Puro matches to mega uploads, and it would go a lot of times. The mega uploads, you would download it if you had a computer, but it would let you stream the video. And I used to watch them on my PlayStation 3 from Strong Style Symphony. It was the best.
Back when they let you hit that web browser.
Yes, it was the best. Damn, you fucking took me back. I love that forum.
Strong Style Symphony is the goated webpage. Like you wouldn't even you'd occasionally get some arguments, but for the most part, like it was very friendly to newbies.
Yeah, everybody was just wanting to teach each other.
Yeah, like you got in there, and like there were a lot of people who knew stuff, but there was always somebody who was only been there for 6 months, and he had just started to learn, and like they're gonna bring you along with them, and everyone starts learning together. It was a beautiful place because they were just trying to spread this other thing that nobody's really talking about, and that stuff is intrinsically responsible for the the localization of New Japan Pro Wrestling now.
Yeah. Jabal, real hero. He would end up going out and uploading these matches to Daily Motion.
Yep.
And particularly things like the Wrestle Kingdom or the G1 or the big New Japan shows from like 2012 on, when they were really getting their shit together. There was no way to access it unless you paid for something called Ustream, where the packages cost like $150 for like fucking 6 shows. It was like ridiculous.
Yeah. So like, if you wonder why all these places like Pro Wrestling Noah, Tokyo Joshi Japan Wrestling, New Japan, All Japan, all have these like English Twitter accounts and these like these subscription services that cater to like the American fan base. Like, this is why, because they found out there was money to be made here.
And that's literally thanks to people like Jamal. Rest in peace.
Yeah, it is.
Great
100%.
fucking guy.
Yo.
But yeah, damn, Nick, what was your favorite forum?
Yo, I also want to give a shout out to Jamal, and there's another guy I used to follow on Daily Motion. It was T-Stack. I don't know if anyone remembers him. He used to upload a lot of mostly WCW pay-per-views, but he also used to pop some occasional WWF ones up on Daily Motion in the pre-WWE Network era, so that was always really nice to go to. But the three that I used to visit a lot, way back when, the first one that came to mind was Wrestling Figs. The different like figure forums. looking up stuff, especially when it came down to just unreleased wrestling figures and prototypes and different builds of those. That was always so fascinating to me, and I love those boards.
Can I interject that figure forums is such a great pun?
Figure forums.
Exactly.
Like
Figure forums, baby.
That's great.
It's so clean and it takes you a while to figure out the joke is there.
Exactly. And here's the thing that kind of explains a lot of my humor, if a lot of you guys might remember, is was anyone used to partake in the WrestleCrap forums?
I did not.
I didn't, but I've heard of them.
I heard of them much later.
That was a time to be alive. That's where I met guys like Blade Braxton and RD. So it was cool, and being able to become friends with them afterwards was awesome. And then my absolute favorite forum of any that I've gone to, and I still to this day will go back to just to relive some of the old WCW stuff. I'm 100% certain the chat room has closed there, but DDT Digest used to be my go-to.
Wow,
that's a deep cut.
This explains you so much.
I would go to a lot of forums, a lot of the bigger famous forums like DVDR or whatever, but I never spoke in them. I'll just scroll through them. I only spoke in wrestling TV because I got a good signature there, and when Bryan Danielson got fired that one time, I was the first person to post the news, so that got me rolling. I was like, hey, people know who I am now, and that helped me understand how to run things like Dirt Sheet Radio, just to kind of figuring out the internet wrestling community used to be, there was a lot of snobby assholes.
Oh,
for sure.
Was
right? No, it was different. I was gonna say I don't know how to explain it, but I do know how to explain it. It was different because it was so much smaller, and everybody, and even the assholes who just wanted to be right, they would still just trying to tell you shit. We were just trying to discuss wrestling. It wasn't what it is today, and I guess because there's not money involved, there's not so much real clout involved now, and things have changed, and there's so many outside factors like influencers and grifters, and it's so different. The internet wrestling community now, it's so open to everyone, so nasty, unfortunately. And
John, I feel like we have to give a shout out to We Love Pro Wrestling in our time there.
We Love Pro Wrestling is going from forums. When they shut down wrestling TV, I had to go to Facebook, and I didn't know what the fuck. Right. I didn't even know how it worked. I don't know why I don't know why the guy who ran We Love Pro Wrestling, Dennis, he asked me to be not admin, but a contributor at first for the We Love Pro Wrestling page.
Yeah. We weren't allowed to be the regular admins because they just had an incident with some past ones, so they had to start us on the regular We Love Pro Wrestling Facebook page, which is how John and I met.
That is how we met. We met on the We Love Pro Wrestling Facebook page moderator team. I was like, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm trying my best. I was the one who started posting news. They didn't do news. I started trying to post. I started trying to make little graphics, but it was too much effort. I was like, I'll just put the text I'll just put the text and a picture. And then, look, that's essentially the foundation of what Dirt Sheet Radio is.
Remember when we would get too creative sometimes and get shut down?
Oh, sorry. You're being too free.
Wow.
One day I'll run this place.
That's right, Hunter. You will. Let's talk about the Lucha Bros.
Yeah, they've been on the screen for a bit.
They have. Hello, brothers.
There they are.
So there was a report from the dude from Wrestle Purist, Ibu. He has sources, or at least friends, and they have friends. And those friends talk.
Male rats.
Male rats. That's a good one. That was a deep cut from old ass ECW. Our boy Greg watched like how exactly did that ECW watch go? Like, what did you start? What did you watch? Everything?
I started at the episode where they announced the first barely legal pay-per-view, and I've been watching every single episode and pay-per-view since then.
I think what year are you in?
I am on February of 2000, so we're at the finishing stretch.
Jeez.
Question: do you guys know? Because I'm compiling for a personal project that we might be potentially seeing in the near future on Dirt Sheet channels, perhaps.
Woo!
I'm compiling a list of certain lost media content. Do you know if like the last episodes of Hardcore TV have been added yet?
They should be. I think they have everything.
Yeah, I think it's on that. You got to send him the link. You got to send him the spreadsheet.
Because I know
I
a
have
few
no
of
clue what you're
those
talking about, sir.
last episodes for Hardcore TV were just unavailable for so long, and no one could find them.
The nameless spreadsheet.
Interesting. Yeah, I think they're on there, but I will double check that for you. I was actually telling John that I was considering, after a break, I was going to do some much more simpler wrestling stuff. But after that, I was considering doing one for like the NWA era stuff. But like the problem is that watching those old NWA videos leads to a lot of wrestling blue balls, because a lot of the stuff they are promoting never gets broadcasted.
You gotta be there live this Saturday at the Shitter Dome.
If you didn't live in North Kakalaki back in 1970 something, you didn't see Flair and Harley. You just didn't.
The night the dog got fired. It's legendary.
So you came back the next week, and Tony Schiavone and his fucking mustache starts yapping about what happened.
Oh, you get to hear the real cool music at the very start, and you see like 1 minute of the match, like right before the end.
Dad.
It's Tony Schiavone and David Crockett. Speaking of which, David Crockett was backstage on Dynamite tonight.
Was he?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Mid-Atlantic reunion backstage.
I was gonna say, why don't they just do the segment with the both of them?
They should have. The missed opportunity.
Right.
Well, they're bringing it back to AEW. I guess
David Crockett blamed braves the storm to make it.
That's right. Fucking tropical storm just to be backstage.
Jesus.
But yeah, no. The dude from Wrestle Purist, Ibu, he says that the Lucha Bros intend not to re-sign with AEW.
Handshakes and horse shit. I love it.
And then Fightful follows up that report, and they say that the Lucha Bros have been openly talking about an offer that they got from WWE and how it's similar to AEW's offer, and AEW's been trying to get them to re-sign, but the Lucha Bros haven't been responding to their efforts. And then Conan, the ever shit stirrer that he is, posted on Twitter what goes around comes around to, and that might have been a typo, but and then that got the people at AEW being like, oh, I see what's happening here. And so
what are you talking about, K-Dog?
So then the Lucha Bros apparently are telling WWE that they don't want to go to NXT and they would like to remain a package deal.
A popular thing to say lately.
Yeah. They're like married. But they are brothers. I understand. And
not a popular thing to say that I don't want to go to NXT.
Right? Who does? And, I mean, we'll see how that goes, though. Anyway, they're big deal. And I think if WWE brought them in and they gave them the Jade Cody esque treatment, at least as a tag team, they would perform a lot better than probably Jade ended up doing for them. and they might be okay. But the thing is, I don't think so. Here's my thing, right? Let me preface this. I'll give you guys a chance.
Let's talk about it.
I'll give you guys a chance to talk. I swear. But I want to preface this by saying I am not mad at them for leaving, because I feel like AEW wasted multiple opportunities with them to do more important things. They did a lot. Don't get me wrong. They've done a lot in AEW as a tag team. Everything you can do as a tag team, right? Yep. And I don't know if, because they're telling WWE they want to be a package deal, right? So I don't know if maybe AEW was handcuffed in what they could do with them creatively because they didn't want to split up. Right? Yeah. So if they don't want to split up, then what can you do, right? If they just want to keep being a tag team, but you don't want to keep rotating them in the tag division, then what do? The trios. So they've been doing only tag and trios shit, and they've done all you can do. And if they don't want to do anything else, and if they don't want to do singles, because that's the only thing I can imagine. Because otherwise, why wouldn't Penta? Why aren't both these guys former fucking world champion or TNT champion or whatever?
You know what's funny? It seems like they built the beginning of the company off the big Young Bucks, Lucha Bros rivalry, and in the 5 years, it feels like there's been very little of it.
Well, it ended. It ended for real. But consider that they actually did every fucking thing you can do to each other as a tag team. They had the normal match. Very cool. I mean, it was 2 years? It started in 2019. Their feud went from 2019 to 2021. Yeah. And they had normal matches. They had ladder matches where they almost died. And they had my favorite fucking cage match of all time. I love that goddamn match so much. At All Out. And after that match, what do you even do besides play the hits?
Which always, following that match in particular, it's always felt like the Bucks had a continuous stream of different things that they were doing and whatnot, and then it just felt stagnant for the Lucha Brothers, unfortunately.
Yeah, until the triangle thing came around. They got to do trios stuff and at least build that division. People used to complain in the beginning when they became trios champions, but now that it's gone and I'm looking back at it, I miss it. I miss the best of seven. I missed the matches against what they do, House of Black. I was at one best of seven match. I got to be at the Christmas one in San Antonio. I'm gonna take that one with me forever. Penta with the Christmas tree and falling apart. Sure. That's fucking amazing.
My main issue with that is that Death Triangle was horribly inconsistent.
I guess it's hard to be when you got fucking Pac going back home every.
Of course, that's the main thing I'm referring to. But it didn't help. It didn't do them any favors.
No. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I do want to see this just out of curiosity. I cannot help but be incredibly curious if or how the Lucha Bros works in that system. Because that's always the big thing I think we're talking about, right? With any other signee in any other place, it's just cool. This dude or gal is taking their talents to this place. In WWE, it's okay, cool. Let's see how this works in the system.
You know what my concern is? I wanted to. Actually, I'll let Nick talk first.
I was gonna say, one of the things that I think about when it comes to them in the system, Penta has always come off as very much a good fit for WWE. You know, he's got a he's got a marketable look. I mean,
he's got a gimmick, brother.
Exactly, got a gimmick, brother. And then you see too, he is jacked and he is strong. He's lifted weights with Claudio, so he can throw him at the gym. And he's very versatile as a performer. Phoenix, I think, is versatile as well, but he seems much more of the kind to get lost in the shuffle in the WWE, especially when it comes down to how WWE has treated a lot of luchadors. And again, the way when I see Penta, I see pure marketing with him for the WWE style more so than Phoenix.
But consider that they're absolutely concrete in their thinking that they don't want to be split up.
I would almost, and this is, I'm not claiming anything. This is purely speculation on my part. I would almost think to myself that is Pentagon protecting his brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I can
Penta
see that.
is such a WWE talent when I look at him.
Mac brought up Phoenix being injured, but they never utilized Penta as singles, and you have to wonder if that was by choice.
Yeah. I can absolutely imagine Penta just being like, I'm not going out there.
Yeah, I don't want
Former
to do
heavyweight
that.
champion Penta.
Listen, I want. So I was gonna say, being that they want to be a tag team for sure, even if WWE brings them in as a big deal, beyond the initial run, let's say they get 7 good months at best. This is being optimistic. On top of something, or in tag matches that could feel like never on top. This is WWE. But in tag matches that could feel like maybe one of the better stories on the card.
Who are you working on SmackDown?
Right.
Is it the Creeds? No, it's on Raw.
Creeds are on Raw.
Who just got the belt?
You got
the Tongans got the belt.
You got the Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga.
Right. They were supposed to be the Tongans.
Jesus says 3 weeks, not 7 months. No, man. Listen, this is my problem. Triple H don't give a fuck about no tag teams, man. Do you think
Sure.
shit changed? You think he didn't change?
Sure.
I knew it.
Nope.
I knew it the fucking minute that they WrestleMania ended with the Miz and R-Truth as tag champions on one show, and fucking Austin Theory and Grayson Waller as tag champions on the other, in a match that had DIY in it and other real tag teams in it. I knew from the get. You weren't going to convince me. So even if they bring Penta and Phoenix in, even if they give them that big shit, even if they convince all these motherfuckers that people care about tag teams for just those 7 months, that blissful period is going to end. They are going to be doing Lucha House Party shit on WWE TV by the end of 2025.
Do you think it would go that far?
I promise you. It's not going to be pinatas and shit anymore.
But you don't know that.
That's what I
meant. Listen. No, wait, because Bruce Pritchard still is a major part of production there.
Yeah, but nowadays they'll get called out really bad. Like, people let it happen.
That was only a few years ago.
Hey, society shifted really fast. Too fast for some people. They started fighting back. And it's a whole.
Which remember too when Metalik was signed there, and everyone's like, "This is going to be such a big deal. Like, this is their next Lucha star," and then they put him in Lucha House Party with Kalisto and Lindsay.
Yeah.
Hey, Sue's got a great point though. Waller and Theory, your tag champions coming out of WrestleMania for all those months, getting beat up by Jelly Roll at SummerSlam. That's Triple H's booking for tag teams.
So,
to be fair, Austin Theory's booking has also been, I beat John Cena and I'm a chump again.
This is rough.
Like Austin Theory is just kind of like this guy who gets beat up by top stars. It's weird.
Yeah, so I mean they're gonna go over there.
Take the F5 off the pod, you.
When your gimmick is jobber to the stars.
Yeah, but now that's the thing when you were talking about the way they were booking Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I'm more bothered by the fact that this is all seemingly gearing to an Austin Theory face turn.
Please don't.
Yeah, I don't have no interest in seeing that, but just to bring it back to Penta and Phoenix, I'm happy for them, and I hope that it goes well. But historically, they're they've got a short time period to enjoy, and I hope that it's good. Go ahead, Nick.
I was gonna say, especially too, when you consider that like they are coming in with the same rumors of Motor City Machine Guns and the Hardy Boys.
That'd be cool if they bring in Motor City and Penta, because then and the Lucha Bros, because then at least you have extended, like, you maybe they both get 7 months and it fizzles out at the same time.
To Mac, I wouldn't say it's completely forgotten about, because they keep showing the clips of like Waller pulling Austin Theory into shit.
Max says Waller and Theory were teasing a breakup gimmick for like 4 months, and then all of a sudden they drop the titles, lose their rematch in 6 minutes, and it's completely forgotten about. That was another thing that made me realize Triple H didn't give a fuck about tag teams. They acted like it was a big deal one week. They acted like it was a big deal one week. They had the tag belts in the main event. They gave it a little video package, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And then the very next week, they did the rematch unannounced, 6 minutes long. It didn't fucking matter. I was like, oh, this is death. And then the tag champs got beat up. They just got beat up by the Bloodline. Like 2 weeks after they fucking won the belts, and then they lost the belts the very next week.
Fellas, remember, on this past SmackDown, the women's tag champions got the jobber entrance.
Bro. Oh God! Jesus brings up another point. The Young Bucks have the tag titles right now, and they're not wrestling. They have the tag titles and just not doing anything with it.
Dude, I forgot they were the tag champs. Honestly,
yeah, they've just been hoarding those belts for like a month or two.
Why isn't Jack Perry wrestling? Where is he? What are they doing?
Isn't he supposed to have a concussion?
Oh shit! Oh well, I guess he might actually.
The only one that's
he might actually, yes, but you know, I'm trying to put over the fucking chair shot.
Me too.
Headshot. The only one though, like in the last like months, even before someone got a concussion, is like Okada's the only one that's been relatively consistently defending, which even then is still kind of rare now.
Definitely because they know that you can't have the Okada match every week, so they were like, "You're not gonna have any Okada match every week." I was
right.
Like, well, goddamn.
This might be my memory. Did we talk about the tweet to that match?
Which match?
The cage match.
What tweet?
And your boy fucking stay down.
Corey Greaves.
Yes.
He stayed down.
I tried. I couldn't remember his name. I had to do something.
I laughed at that tweet actually because I understand, like, if anybody's gonna say something about it, it's a guy who had to deal with concussion issues. But I was like, don't you have friends in the industry? Like, couldn't you have texted somebody at AEW and asked?
I just like the "don't you have friends?" Just laugh.
Well, there's that, right? But in the industry, like in that locker room, like you're gonna be like, "Hey, bro, was that like, how was that? Like, was that chair like gimmick? Like, what was up with that? Like, y'all are crazy. Like, what the fuck?" And somebody would have wrote him back like, "Nah, bro, it's loose on the side. Like, you know, whatever the fuck, however it works." But he took it down really fast. I did see that.
Didn't matter, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, I get it. A lot of people weren't comfortable with it.
I mean, it didn't matter that he took it down.
Oh yeah, well, it lives forever. But, what did you think about that anyway, Greg?
Always has.
I thought it was interesting. I think there's genuine something to say to the fact that like he lost his career to accidents and like we're just smashing Jack Perry's head in. Not that I'm going to shed too many tears for Jack Perry, but I understand the sentiment.
I think so. No, go ahead.
So yeah, like I thought it was something that I just thought it might actually have been worth talking about and like get you guys' opinions on like what those sort of headshot deals are today. I know there was also the supposed story that they gimmicked the chair and like that's possible.
I mean, it's fairly obvious too. It's the only chair that doesn't get touched the entire match. It's got a different texture.
I wouldn't have seen that.
Isn't it like a matte painting?
It's like a matte like texture to it, and it doesn't look like any of the other chairs in the match. No, no, Greg. On top of that, it says scapegoat on it, so that you know not to use the
scapegoat. Meant for the scapegoat.
So I'm like, couldn't he have texted somebody?
Guys, don't use the chair that says balls.
The big ass cookie sheet.
If you're picking up and it feels really light, maybe put it the fuck down.
Meltzer says they shaved the chair. What does shaving the chair do? By the way,
shaving the chair basically means thinning out like the metal, the pan, basically the flat surface you're hitting the guy with.
So that's probably what they did, right? That's probably why it had that matte look to it.
Yeah, like that's what they argued they did. With the tables, you would shave the table down so it was thin, so the break was easy, which they clearly don't do enough because some of the girls don't go through it. But that was the idea, that you shave down the table so it broke easily.
Yeah.
I saw some people online talking about too. There's parts where guys in the blood and guts match were kind of being like, no, don't use that chair, go over this way. Yeah. And they were like staying away from it, not to even just accidentally grab it.
Of course, you don't want it to fall apart. And so Jesus asks a question: how do we fix the AEW tag division? Well, probably just put the belts on somebody else and then have significant storylines in the division.
Help me out. What does the tag division look like these days? Like, what do top guys not Young Bucks?
They still have FTR. The Acclaimed, unfortunately, they're there.
Just who they're
House of Black.
House of
Black. They're doing trio stuff now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But they're still valid. Like, why can't you have someone go after trios and tag titles? I think that's
because God forbid House of Black has a singles match.
Grizzled Young Vets. Grizzled Young Vets were in talks with AEW. They haven't signed anything yet.
Okay.
And then
technically signed the Von Erich brothers.
They're there, but they're trios champions with Dustin. Yeah.
But remember that's Ring of Honor.
That's what Ring of Honor won. Okay.
With that. Yeah, they brought the Ring of Honor trios back.
I have nowhere too. No announcement. They just appeared
with the old Texas boys. I see it. Max says put the belts on Top Flight. I don't think you want that run to last, sir.
I'm surprised you didn't say Taven and Bennett.
They have a flight attendant now.
Shut up.
No,
they do.
Layla Gray.
They do.
Maybe that's gonna get him over.
Hey,
she looks good in that attire too.
It might. It fucking might.
They replaced Andretti with her.
And they also have just added MM. The MM collection.
MXM.
That's right.
I don't know if you
what about
no, you do. You do. That's what they've been doing.
What about the infantry?
Dumb. Oh, they're on Ring of Honor, but they never really got AEW shots except for that FTR match on Collision.
Mac, I got you.
Oh my God, Nick, double tag champs.
Yes, Taven and Bennett boys.
What is up with Private Party?
You guys have to remember the audio listeners when you respond to those comments. You just got to read it out loud first.
Oh, sorry. Yes, ask. Say the question first. Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't go to media school.
Jesus says they're over and actually not bad. MXM. I don't doubt that. I just feel like it's it was not like they're very big character workers, and I was like, oh, that's different from what AEW usually goes after, and that's not exactly a bad thing. Different is never bad.
My only weird thing with NXM is that like they come off like those guys that are just like really entertaining on social media, and it does not translate to television.
I like their little video clips, their interviews backstage.
I like when they forced Aubrey to turn the back on the hard cam, and then they all did the whoosh.
I did catch a clip of that. That was good.
Post together. That was fun. I gotta say too, like the crowd has really been behind MXM, and I was honestly afraid because I didn't feel that they would be, but I think everything that they've been doing thus far has been working. You know, they're fun gimmicks, which when you think about it, a lot of wrestlers in AEW really don't have characters. And that's been a big thing for the ones that do, is it's been helping them a lot.
I think it's interesting that I'm sorry, John. I think it's interesting that like maybe compared to some of the older days in Ring of Honor type stuff that some of those WWE guys do not get that immediate rejection for being WWE guys. That's
true. But you know what it is? Ring of Honor used to bring them in and put them in like semi-main and shit. You know,
Sure.
like, and people are like,
That didn't help.
Ew, fucking Matt Hardy and Christian are here, like,
Brother, what
ew.
is that? Ew.
Ew, brother, ew. Oh, there's that damn Bryan quote. That Bryan told Gorilla Position this week that when doctors cleared him to return to wrestling, they cleared him to wrestle a certain style. It's certainly not the style of pro
Gorilla
wrestling he's
Position,
doing
like
right
the
now.
podcast?
Yeah, not
Okay.
like people in a gorilla position.
Okay.
He says,
Hey,
I'm
Tony
really,
and Jerry Lynn.
he said,
Yeah.
I'm really walking back this idea of wrestling forever. I don't think I can do it. I thought I'd be comfortable doing that, but it turns out that's not what I want. I can't stop myself from doing this kind of wrestling.
I mean, I think that's just reality, man.
He's a gangster as fuck. But yeah. He really is. Yeah.
Oh, should we talk about how like Christian is the best tag team in AEW right now?
By himself because he doesn't
Yeah.
have any help. Yes.
He
Actually.
did it all on his own, literally.
Jesus says that that Gorilla Position interview was awkward because it had a bunch of WWE questions like
Oh wow.
yeah, they asked Bryan, I just scrolled past it, let me get back to it. They asked him like, do you regret leaving before Triple H took over? And he's like, no, not at all. He said, no, I don't view it. He said no. I think how I view it is obviously things have changed for the better there substantially. But how I view it is one, I've had an incredible time doing what I'm doing, and there's a lot of people who, and I think I'm one of these people, who prefer the style in AEW. It's more wrestling focused as opposed to the drama focused or whatever it is. But I like the idea that there's an alternative. And one of the things I really put thought into, what I wanted to do as far as leaving WWE, I was never somebody who disliked WWE. I never said anything bad about them, but one of the things I wanted to participate in was this thing that makes wrestling industry better for everyone involved.
Okay. If I may beat the dead horse of the tag team thing, Ibushi did put out a tweet that he says he will be coming back with Kenny Omega.
Oh, that actually inject a lot of
Interest.
a lot into the tag division because that, I mean, hopefully they're not like putting the belts into a holding pattern though until they get back.
Sure.
Because I can see the lure of wanting to do the Young Bucks versus Kenny and Ibushi, but I don't think that match is gonna ever be as good as the original.
As it is in your head.
No, the original Young Bucks versus Golden Lovers match is fucking incredible. it was the most story-driven Young Bucks match I had ever seen in my life before the
Cody and Dustin.
That one, oh shit, I forgot about that one. And the Revolution one with Hangman and Kenny.
Golden Lovers again. Jesus said Golden Lovers against the Acclaim sounds fun. Stop it. Don't do this to me.
What are you talking about? Golden Lovers? Come on, let's take them, Taven and Bennett. Let's go.
First off, I am not ready. I am not ready for the terrible lines that this dude would have for Kenny and Ibushi.
You're sick. Yo, you're lovers, and I don't know. I didn't want to.
Something gay joke. Something
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's right. The other big news: Britt Baker casting Cobra Kai. No, Britt Baker calling Alicia Tout a stupid bitch and starting a fight in the locker room
versus the Wall.
And then she said, "No mercy."
International title open challenge. MJF versus the Wall, aka Malice.
Yeah, so to get for historical reasons, we have to give the entire context. So I have to start at the beginning. Dynamite 250. MJF and Will Ospreay.
I was gonna say 2021 AEW now.
Not 2018. Tony Khan meets the Young Bucks.
1995. Alicia Tout is born.
No. Dynamite 250. Will Ospreay and MJF are scheduled for the 1 hour match to open the show, and Britt Baker is in the locker room burying it. And so Alicia Tout is like, this bitch is talking about my man. And so she goes to MJF and she says, they're burying your fucking match. And so MJF apparently knocks on the locker room and asks for Britt. And she comes out and we don't know exactly what was said. So I can
Where's the
only
cameras
imagine.
for this?
So here's my interpretation of what happened on that
Oh
day.
no.
I imagine MJF walked up in there and he probably started off sarcastically. So what did you have to say about my match? And being embarrassed, she's confronted. Alicia Tao's probably standing there. So she knows that MJF knows exactly what she said. She's got no choice. She's cornered. She lashed out like an animal.
Mm-hmm.
She probably said, you know, you a fucking. She probably repeated a bunch of Twitter insults. You're a fucking lame ass stick going out there for an hour to do a whack ass match. What the fuck you gonna do anyway? A kangaroo kick for 59 minutes? You whack ass fake hair having, you know, like, all of that stuff. And so MJF walks down the hall, really angry, punches a wall, leaves. And Will Ospreay actually comes back looking for Britt. Like, what the hell's the problem? Like,
What's up, bro?
What are you
The
burying
opinions
me
of
for?
MJF are not at all the opinions of Jonathan Escudero.
What are you burying me for, bro? And what are you burying me for? And so yeah, so there's an investigation done because there's a big hullabaloo, and we didn't. To their credit, we didn't hear about this shit. We never heard about it. Nobody leaked it out for weeks until after it was all over. That's a huge improvement for this company. I'm very proud of you all.
Yeah, good job, team.
Good job, team.
Yeah.
On that one. And but yes, so HR does an
In the
investigation.
old days, you would have been live tweeting the incident.
Normally somebody would have had it 3 minutes in, and we still not done.
Tino Sabatelli in the disguise.
Right?
Oh no! I forgot about that.
And Matt brings up the one thing everybody put together: MJF punching a wall, new hair, back knee. This guy's he's got something going on.
Feeling the power of brother.
But no, so the HR decides that Britt is the instigator, and she's the only one suspended from the incident. MJF is fine, Alicia Todd's fine, Will Ospreay's fine, and that makes the Mercedes build very difficult because Mercedes is not a good promo.
No.
God damn
And
it!
thank you for saying that because, man, when they were on NXT, I was the first person to be like, yo, Sasha is the worst mic one here. She is wooden as fuck.
She never really figured it out, huh?
No, and like, yeah, she talks in the most like soundbitey WWE cadence.
Yeah, it's not working. Did you? Tonight was particularly painful for me.
I did not see it
when it came to the Mercedes segment. I've been a big defender of Mercedes personally,
Sure.
because I feel like she gets a lot of unnecessary hate. They're like, it's so much things that don't matter that people just pick on for nothing. Why is she wearing heels next to Camille? I'm like, so that she can stand out because she's about to get overshadowed by her second. I'm like, that's
Rick House.
That's how television works, folks.
But also, what an odd question. Why is the female wearing heels?
Right?
I don't know.
Because she
Who's
likes
worn heels in the
Louis
past?
Do that?
Vuitton. She likes Gucci. You
Not
know,
like the first time she's worn them out to the ring too.
So she gets a lot of hate for no reason, and I like to defend her against that. But this segment on Dynamite, I was like, fuck, like she's not getting the promos here in AEW, and I'm sure that it helps having Jennifer Pepperman and writing the stories, and it certainly helped the way the company tells stories, but it's not helping Mercedes perform when it comes to promos. Like, it's just not.
No.
Crowd was dead, and this was a great crowd tonight, but they were dead for Mercedes. And she's got no help from Britt. Britt's a great mic. Britt is great on the mic. And she can't do shit because she's busy being a bitch. She's so fucking busy trying to protect her top spot that she's fucking herself out of it.
Which is like crazy because that was the thing that got her over.
Right? That's the thing you expect.
That's kind of how we created this monster, isn't it?
We've taken it too far, boys.
And they're saying this isn't the first time that she's gotten into issues backstage.
Sounds about right.
And it's like, I'm never gonna be like, oh well, she seems like a bitch. I mean, the stories are saying what they're saying. But if this is not like it's exclusive to Britt because she's a female or anything like that. She's Shawn Michaels. She's fucking this happens. This happens in the wrestling business, especially on top. People get really, really protected.
You get that spot. You don't want to let it go. It might not come back.
And she's got a lot of reason to be scared. There's a lot of better workers in this company.
Yeah. Okay. Also, like, because she was the first one and like the one, you start to get that idea that like that is your spot.
It's hard. It's really hard going into Wembley. How she just fucked this whole thing. And
I will say too, when you think about it, because she has mentioned that she suffered the TIA, those things can really alter your brain chemistry. And if you have a filter, sometimes you also will lose that filter completely. So I could think that also being something that was at play in recent times.
That could happen. That absolutely could happen. Because why else are you in the locker room with Alicia talking about her man? Like, she's right there.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're like being a bitch, like testing her, like. So
that must be
No, was it?
I was gonna say that must be an interesting household of head injuries.
if it's still a household.
No.
No.
It'll be safe if he just becomes Budge.
Chugs up, we're here for you, Chugs. Anyway, Matt says
if he just shaves his head bald and calls himself Budge and becomes John Silver's manager, he'll be safe.
Listen, Nick will never say anything bad about his Halo King.
Tony's funny as hell because he got the fucking best possible, and the women's division is actually doing very well. It's just that Mercedes promo is rough.
Chad, remember when Deonna Purrazzo came in like a big deal?
Matt called her Britt Benoit.
I don't think we're there yet.
All right, we have to move on now from that.
Shit back in.
Now we can't bring Britt up anymore.
Well, this was Mac's last time being on Dirty Radio.
Fuck! I actually closed the window by accident.
Yes, you did.
No, like I closed the whole fucking window. That's great. Anyway,
why is Mother Wayne on the roster page?
Because
remember she's 1/3 of the trio's champions.
They even have like her win-loss record, which is all zeros.
Because remember on Collision, Christian Cage gifted Nick Wayne and Mother Wayne the other trio's titles because the Switchosaurus didn't deserve it.
Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa have been having a great feud on Collision. It's been a main focus and feature of that show for.
I've only seen Purrazzo on Ring of Honor. I feel like.
Oh fuck! You gotta watch these Rosa matches, particularly they had. Oh no, my bad. I was just saying they had a lumberjack match a couple weeks ago that was really good. But
honestly, they had a street fight too that was solid.
I was gonna say, yeah, that I thought it was either coming or it happened already.
So Thunder Rosa officially become like the hardcore woman in the company?
I'd say that's Willow.
That's Willow. That is Willow.
You think so? Okay.
It is. It's she's the queen of the street fight. She took it from Tay Conti and Anna Jay, and she's had more than them. I think she's had like 4 now.
By the way, we will be keeping. Well, maybe not we. I will definitely be keeping up with Anna Jay's work in the Stardom GP that will be beginning in a few days.
I will try. I've had a lot going on. This was actually really funny on TBS. They accidentally played a Taco Bell commercial over Jack Perry's promo.
Oh my god, yes, I heard about that.
We made sure to bring this up on the Dynamite recap.
It's still got the AEW logo in the corner of the Taco Bell commercial.
Oh my god.
No, because it goes away, because it doesn't it's not like it cut it off to go to commercial. Like they aired a commercial over the promo, and then it just went away, and then you get the last bits of the promo. And it's like, what the fuck?
I mean, doesn't Taco Bell serve Pepsi products?
Jesus.
Wow.
Conspiracy time.
I heard some people saying that he couldn't tell if the fucking Taco Bell was part of the promo or not.
Yeah, like if Tony Khan did it to him in story, because he's getting revenge.
I kind of dig that if they brought that up.
What did you think? I thought this ref cam was the funniest dumb shit. Snack Perry.
How do you feel about the ref cam, Nick?
Ref cam was the funniest dumb shit. The very first minute they introduced the fucking camera, the referee
looking at the crowd,
looking at nothing.
Wow, look, nothing.
I was like, this is doomed immediately.
Dude, I have known that this was a terrible concept because I remember when WCW tried this concept in like '91 with the refer eye camera, and
refer eye
camera. If any of you want to watch one of the worst matches, but it kind of helped this match in particular, go to Halloween Havoc 1991, the Chamber of Horrors Chair of Torture match. They used the refer eye camera.
Is that where Abdullah gets shocked?
That is the one.
Oh no.
So I already seen this, and I know that gimmick will fail horrible.
And it did. And Seth Rollins almost fucking strangled himself on that shit. He took it off and kicked it.
It created a good reel that I posted.
I've seen it work in mixed martial arts, but I think that has to do with the fact that the refs in MMA are much more attentive.
Is that?
Yeah, right.
You see this WWE thinking about taping Raw on Sundays after their international pay-per-view PLEs to allow talent to recover?
Truly a new era.
I could see why. But aren't they supposed to be moving back to Sundays?
What do you mean? Who? Oh, the pay-per-views?
Yeah. Wasn't that the announcement? I remember that being the announcement with Dana White, because the whole idea was that it was going to be UFC on pay-per-view Saturdays and then the WWE PLEs on Sundays.
Sometimes, but those wouldn't be international if UFC is going to be doing the same weekend as WWE. They'll be like St. Louis or whatever the fuck.
Is it going to be only the times that they run in the same city?
It's going to be only the times that they leave the country, so that the wrestlers don't have to spend time.
I meant the Saturday Sunday thing with UFC.
Oh yeah. They'll double book the building. They book it for the whole weekend because it's one group now. It's the same booking.
I took that comment as just like across the board.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I don't know. No, this is just for those. But,
okay. Well, that makes sense to some degree.
Yeah,
it's easier on the talent.
Makes the wrestlers feel good. NXT going on the road.
On the road again. That's the other song, but I'll take it.
So it's just for the first 2 episodes on CW, but you have to imagine that this is kind of a test. They'll be going to Chicago for the first one. CM Punk will be there. And then the second episode will be going directly against AEW Title Tuesday. Randy Orton will be at this one in St. Louis.
Why is AEW on Tuesday?
I imagine there's some TV reason.
Okay.
But yeah, that's cool. Good for them. It will be cool. CM Punk never gonna be the.
That is not a news segment, John.
Are we sure? No. Liv Morgan is signed with a talent agency.
Oh, you're a son of a bitch.
I'm so happy
keep
for
getting
her
away
to
with it.
forward her career in Hollywood. Great career in Hollywood. Did you see this? I'm gonna talk about an unfounded rumor for a second because these are fun.
Let's do it. I love unfounded rumors. They're my favorite.
Do it.
There was a rumor that the reason why Giovanni Vinci got so unceremoniously removed from Imperium, and then, but this doesn't make any sense to me, right? Because they were building to it on TV.
Basically, got DFA'd.
Because they were building to it on TV for a while. He was losing, and then Gunther was like, you're not holding up your end, and then he got pinned, and then they kicked him out. But then he disappeared from TV forever. And so Ludwig Kaiser he does this interview where even if it was in kayfabe, you were like, oh, where he was like, his split with Giovanni Vinci was sorely needed. He was like, yeah. He was like, he really needed this split. It was sorely needed even. He had more of the team than I did. He said, I was always convinced I would do everything to be a big name. Within a few weeks of him being gone, my stock has risen extremely. And everyone was like, damn. Damn. He didn't even come back to TV. And he's talking like this. And then people started saying, apparently, like Vinci tried to talk to Tiffany Stratton or something.
Oh my god!
I was like, "What the fuck?" But this, I thought when I first saw it,
Wrestle Please at its finest.
When I first saw it, I ignored it, but I saw so many people talking about it. I was like, "Where is this coming from?" It was a very interesting day.
When they attacked him too, remember, he just would not let up on those shots. They look brutal. I've been rewatching that, and everyone's like, wow, there's something personal here.
Triple H and Mark Henry's son, Jacob Henry, he apparently got signed to the WWE. He's very young. I think he's like 18 or 19. World's strongest teenager or Texas strongest teenager. He's got a bunch of accolades. He's gonna be just fine.
Absolutely.
CM Punk and Drew McIntyre being
I need him to inherit the theme song.
All right.
Yes,
same
please.
exact theme. No change.
No news. No, just bring 3-6 Mafia right on back.
They're so scared of real legacy stuff, man.
It sucks.
They make you earn it for 20 years first.
Whoa!
I don't know how this is a report because I feel like we've all known this from the moment that they announced this pay-per-view.
I think we talked about it last week.
CM Punk and Drew McIntyre being reported to be in a Hell in a Cell.
I think we also argued that like you could get away with them running 2 if they also did live in Rhea.
I think they will.
The 2 cells.
Yeah. Did you catch this Wyatt 6 match debut on Monday?
I always think that when I look at how what's his name, Dexter Lumis has his look now, it reminds me of that later stage WWF run that Raven had.
Interesting. It's the blonde like dread.
The blonde dreads. That's exactly what it is. And like the little bits of face paint and guyliner.
Yeah.
So I was worried because I was like, they're gonna be wrestling, okay, but they dealt with it pretty good. They treated them like real people. They were just fucking nut jobs. Like Michael Cole was like, this is the guy who thinks he's, whatever the pig, but he's just Joe Gacy, and then he just calls him by his real name and everybody by their name the whole match. Okay. And I was like, okay, well that's fine. That's why there's no supernatural element at all. Actually, they're just a bunch of fucking freaks. Just a bunch of weirdos.
Some might call them sickos. The 6.
That sounds like the Cornette trying his best to make the boogeyman thing make sense.
They were much better together than they are separately, I think. Joe Gacy is actually not bad, but Dexter Lumis and Eric Rowan are not the best wrestlers, and this was good though. They were good together. They were good as a trios. They did a lot of trios things. They seemed to train really hard to be a trios. And what was that?
I was gonna say it's funny to me just because I always felt like Gacy was already doing a bargain brand Wyatt gimmick anyway.
Yeah, so he came up with the. He ended up in the best possible position for himself, where he'll never have to be.
Real boy, mama.
Yeah, he'll never have to be compared to Bray Wyatt.
Dude,
Never again.
It's still so crazy, and this is me as like a CZW guy, seeing Joe Gacy in a WWE ring.
Yeah.
Even he, I mean, he's definitely better than the other two, but he's I don't know.
And it's still Joe Gacy too, which is also crazy to me.
That is crazy. Yeah, it's funny to me actually because like the look Joe Gacy has for this Wyatt thing is like that's the guy I remember.
Right? I'm like, what is happening?
Not the button-down shirt, nice haircut dude they were doing in NXT.
Like, I think about how, like, wow, this is the Joe Gacy I remember from CZW. And he gets to come in, but Jon Moxley had to become Dean Ambrose.
Slick that hair back, boy.
So I wanted to say, here's what I don't like, right? The Creed brothers and Chad Gable. So they come out, they got a new name. They're called American Made. They give Chad Gable American.
No, that's the other theme song.
American Made.
You gotta go with the Hogan one.
American males.
No,
I want to switch them for you, Greg.
They've got American graphics and all that, and I think to myself, they've leaned too far into the Kurt Angle joke. Like, it wasn't that. There was not supposed to be like it was like American Alpha and everything, and he does this. He wrestles like Kurt, and he kind of has a singlet on, but we didn't have to keep going with the cosplay stuff like that. They don't.
He was also an Olympian, so like I felt it was to a degree warranted.
Respect.
Damn, I wanted it to have a little bit of difference from Team Angle. Like I didn't want it to be Team Angle again.
Yeah,
like,
that's why I how do you say I rubber banded like immediately whenever people were just like, why don't they bring Kurt in? No, bad, stop it.
Yeah, but at this point they've gone so far that you might as well. Because it feels like, because this is what I don't want. Like, I don't want to turn on the TV. Like, if I wake up in a fucking coma 20 years later and I turn on the TV, it looks like they've got a new Kurt Angle. Like, that's ew. Like, that's
sure.
Oh, they've got a Kurt Angle. Where's the Steve Austin? Like, oh, it's LA Knight. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm not.
I mean, LA Knight was destroying a man's vehicle.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. This was cool. This was emotional. You got to hear Shatter. That was cool. But yeah, did you guys have
talk about music that sometimes
this?
feels like it's too good for pro wrestling?
I listened to it earlier. Very good song.
It is, yes.
Did you get to see this, Nick?
I did. I kept up a little bit with different things from Raw, which was also fun to see Jon and Danny Ocean on the show. Wasn't expecting that.
Yes, that was cool. Danny's always good to be on the show with.
But yeah, my biggest takeaways was again like the things I mentioned where I was like, wow, like this is Joe Gacy, and then like Dexter Lumis reminding me of Raven, which imagine like peak Raven and peak Bray Wyatt interacting. That would have been something psychologically crazy. I would have loved that, and it's so nice having Eric Rowan back in the fold with everything that he's gone through with losing two of his brothers. It's so heartbreaking what he went through, and it's nice to see him at least back in the ring and representing them.
Also, to that exact point, like I thought it was sort of so oddly gut-wrenching that, like, for a guy who was out of the spotlight for a while, like, the only two times you got back on TV were basically as, like, these tribute acts to, like, the two guys that had just passed away. It's like, at least you got your fucking job back now, man.
Yeah, for sure. But so my biggest thing with American Made was that one, they came off a little bit too much like Team Angle, and two, they were complete fodder, and they have been. The week before this match, this brand new team, Chad Gable and the Creed Bros, and they're heels, right? So I guess it doesn't matter, but I wanted to see them so bad that I'm like, this stinks. They very first week the Creed Bros are getting beat up and left behind by the Y6 and Chad Gable, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Run off scared.
And if they're fucking,
And I'm
fodder,
biased because like I've seen the Creed Bros just be utter badasses.
but if the Creed Bros and Chad Gable are fodder, then what the fuck does that make Otis? Otis is less than fodder. Otis is
Otis is shaving his tummy.
He's a jobber under a jobber. I think he's like I call him a grand jobber.
Grand Jabba.
But
Wow.
at least he's on. At least he's doing commercials. They're getting paid to be goofy. It's just like, oh, this stinks. But yeah, I'm sure they'll bounce back, right?
They have to. They need to. But again, remember, it's WWE and tag teams, folks.
Right.
Fuck. Anyway, let's move on from
And
that.
this
Actually,
case-
wasn't a bad episode of Raw. I was gonna say it was probably the best episode of Raw they've done in a long time.
I was gonna say, in this case, tag teams do their best when they are part of some stable that the WWE is working a program around.
Yeah, basically, you'll be okay. You maybe can ride into the main event of WrestleMania like the Usos did. So what do y'all think of Odyssey Jones finally making his debut after all these years?
You know, the meme has finally ended, but even beyond that, like, let's just watch this. Literally, both these guys are super heavyweights, Akam and Razar, and he lifts them up like it's nothing.
my
and
God.
He holds them.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
they said he
crazy.
lifted 800 deadlifted or something like 800 pounds in the PC.
Right.
Like he broke a record. They say he wanted to go for 1,000, but they wouldn't let him. That's
Just
the
like
kind of-
as an utter health, like no.
yeah, that's the kind of beast that we're dealing with Odyssey Jones here.
So the only thing I was able to take from this was like, wait, are they passing him off as a member?
Well, the story is that Kofi met him in the PC while he was rehabbing, and Xavier was like, "Hey, you didn't tell me that you were bringing this guy or anything."
Uh-oh.
And before he get to say anything,
Oh no!
Tozawa walks in the room to show off his brand new dance. Yeah,
Oh, he's got a new one?
he's got a new one. He's got a new one.
Free Otis. Also, I get kind of Odyssey Jones with Akam and Razar lifted up a grand total of 620 pounds for those two guys alone.
And that was nothing to him. That was a baby
Yeah.
bitch fucking lift because he already did 800.
Held them.
That was his warm up.
Just held them there.
Oh, Max says apparently has a Twitter pass of being a transphobic. So
Who's this?
Odyssey Jones. I say let's hope that he change. I also say I wish we didn't know anything about people. I don't. God
Twitter is the
damn.
worst thing to have to celebrities.
They're so willing to tell you what they think. I'm like, you're not supposed to. We used to not say what we thought about things on purpose. Like that was a thing. That was the way we respected each other as a society. Like, what
We
happened to
just
that?
kept our thoughts to ourselves.
You weren't supposed to know. Remember when you didn't know who you voted for? Like it's a secret. You would go in the curtain. You're not supposed to tell nobody.
Shit, keep it secret.
What the fuck happened to that? Anyway.
Yeah, like the worst thing that ever happened to celebrities was getting to know them as people. Like, I
I don't want to know you.
don't want to know who you are.
Stop it.
You put out a thing, and I like that thing, and that is the nature of our relationship.
Like
That's
to
all I want to
imagine-
know you as.
I just want to know you as the image I see you on wherever I see you. You know, the art. I just want to know the art. I don't want to know the person. But unfortunately, we do live in an age where people overshare and nobody is a star anymore. And that's why people like Beyonce can stand above everyone because you don't know shit. You don't know a fucking thing about Beyonce. If she gets on Twitter and says hi, everybody in the month is gonna flip their shit because she doesn't say shit on Twitter. She said hi.
The one time you thought you knew something about what was going on with Beyonce, the rest of us were just like, "This is a fucking work, bro."
That's a fucking work. Oh yeah. We not only did we get to see this thing, it led directly to 2 albums, one from each perspective. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Thank you. Anyway. Odyssey
You're like,
Jones,
remember all that Beyonce Jay-Z drama? I'm like, remember all the money they made off of it?
right?
Mm-hmm.
Odyssey Jones and the New Day. I don't think it's gonna last very long. I think this might be the end of the New Day. But that makes me feel like Big E
That's even
decided
weirder.
that he's not gonna come back.
That's how it feels.
And that's an understandable choice. Is that fucking One Piece flag? Yes, it is. I didn't
Yes,
notice
it
that at all.
Yep.
Did you hear the story about how like Big E asked them, not asked them, but like basically gave them the okay to like take him out of the entrance?
Why?
That's
Because he was just like, I'm not like I don't know if I'm coming back or how long it's gonna take. Like you guys can take me out of the whole like announcement thing, and they were like, no, the
Why
fuck.
would you do that?
No.
Right?
Just end it at that point. Do not remove him.
At that point, just get rid of the fucking gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at that point. It's not the same.
And it looks like they might. I can kind of see Kofi and Odyssey Jones breaking off and doing their own
I
thing.
really wanted to say that I was happy that they just absolutely like turned down that idea at the beginning.
Which is interesting because them breaking up, I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, Kofi and Xavier would be good opponents for the Lucha Bros when they came in.
We'll see.
Like, well, it's that WWE tag team thing.
It's gonna be a full-on WWE match. I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot. Bronson Reed destroyed Seth Rollins. It was quite a sight.
Yes.
He really killed him.
Will be a regular WWE match.
It start with a headlock. No.
Chinlock.
Yeah, he gets in the ring. He gives Seth like 3 sentons and then like literally 6 tsunami splashes off the top rope.
How do we write Seth Rollins out of the CM Punk program? We fucking kill him.
Absolutely pancake him. Turn him into an actual
We fucking
pancake.
He's CM Punk told us he did to the Bucks backstage.
This is exactly how he described it. And then when they kicked Larry, I gave him 6 tsunami splashes.
Wow, Punk, that's great.
Good job, Punk. Why don't you get out there and do something? No, they so this made me wonder if they wrote Seth off TV for a long time, and if they did, why did they bring him back in the first place? Like, they made him have this match against Damian Priest, and I thought when they first announced that he was coming back, like we all saw that footage at WrestleMania. Fucking fan footage of how he looked at the end of that show.
Oh, he was a limpy mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm supposed to think that
I was getting Adam Cole flashbacks.
No, but I'm saying I'm supposed to think that he got his surgery in April, and he was back to wrestle in what, June?
Mm-hmm.
Is that June? I don't give a fuck if the doctor said yes. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
Nope.
And so he has that match, and he never wrestles again.
And remember, he doesn't have that super regeneration healing ability like Cena.
No, nobody does. John Cena's not a fucking person. He's literally built in Vince McMahon's basement.
Also, is that the same knee as WrestleMania?
It is. But no, but here's the thing.
It only recovers slower.
But here's the thing. He has the Damian Priest match and he never wrestles again. They get him on SummerSlam by having him be a special guest referee, and then they kill him off of TV here. So I'm looking at the WWE like, what did you do to him? Like, what the fuck? Literally.
This reminds me of when I think they had lost somebody or something, and then like they called Shawn Michaels back from injury like a few months early to do the Randy Orton program.
He just dies, kill him again. It's okay, Seth. Do it for us. That's disgusting. That's
Seth
disgusting.
Rollins doing his best Damien impression.
By the way, Seth Rollins with the Hangman Page look
Bronson is Earthquake.
wasted on this segment, by the way. Wasted on this segment.
Wasted.
Completely wasted.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I think it's also a little interesting too that Seth Rollins seemingly being written off TV right next to the how do you say cryptic almost retirement post by Becky Lynch.
Oh yeah, she's not fucking retiring. She'll be back.
They always come back.
Judgment Day, Damian Priest thing, over as fuck. Damian Priest is so much more like a top guy on the other side of the championship. It's crazy.
That'll happen.
They say the championship doesn't make the man makes the championship. I was like, I don't know. This time it might have worked. I don't this time you might have done it. They put the belt on a guy who clearly wasn't ready, and they built a story around that shit. And by the end of the title reign, it was like, oh, maybe we don't want him to lose. And now that he's lost, it's like, wait, fuck.
I think it helped that they do have some emotional resonance with the Judgment Day, it appears.
Which is so interesting. Remember too, all those OG Judgment Day guys are now gone, and gals.
Yeah. So what are they doing here? As I understand it,
not anything Edge wanted. I'll tell you that much.
As I understand it, Rhea and Damian are out. But they're cool with each other.
Yeah, they're calling them the Terror Twins.
Right, I saw that on the wall at SummerSlam.
Oh, was it?
There was like a shirt or something that said Terror Twins in their little clubhouse.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Next, there was a report from the Ringer that says Judgment Day members were backstage crying because this was it.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice. It has been years. They travel together. They can't anymore.
JD was the upset.
JD and JD and Finn Balor are just gonna be like Irish.
R-Truth is the one that will bring them back together. Just wait.
Oh God, stop it!
It's a good move. It's a good move.
I think they were a better tag team than Finn and Damian.
Finn and JD.
But I think they also have the familiarity to go with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say they know each other for a decade.
Yeah,
but,
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think R-Truth is the one that really kickstarted people's love for the Judgment Day.
I'm gonna say Rhea, but I think R-Truth helped along the way.
It was definitely Rhea. It was Rhea. It was Liv. You know what's crazy? It was Liv Morgan lending Rhea those tights, the ones that didn't fit.
the purple joint.
Here's why I'm saying R-Truth, even just beyond the meme of it.
Okay.
Is because for a long time, like, remember, like, people were looking at Judgment Day and it was like, yeah, Rhea Ripley's in there. Yeah, you know, you got Balor, you got Priest. But it just became so stale. And it's like, even though you had, you know, Dom doing those prison Dom things, I don't know, it just didn't hit. But then they just felt so one note. R-Truth added that extra bit of personality that really took them all up another notch, and they played along with it perfectly. And that is why I will still always say R-Truth helped save the Judgment Day.
I think he did save them because I feel like they had an initial burst with the Dominic Mysterio thing.
I feel like that was the first save.
Yeah, that was the Kickstarter. Like the Edge thing was dying a death. Finn Balor took it from him, but they weren't.
And it was still dying.
They weren't doing shit. And then they got Dom. They got involved with Dom, and that was the first meme. That was the reason people cared. Rhea choking Dom with her legs. That was me. Why wasn't it me?
And then Dom folded, and everyone was just like, "Yes, we get it."
I understand.
That's the joke. They're referencing it.
Yeah, and there they go. And then, like Nick said, they got stale, and then R-Truth saved them. That's what Sammy did with the Bloodline.
Sure,
Sometimes you need a little jester.
I think along the way, and maybe I just want to shine a light on it because I thought it was a big deal for him at the time. I feel like the Bad Bunny match helped a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To make Priest seem like somebody.
That helped to stop in the company. That's the reason why they believed in him to do what they did now.
Oh yeah. 100%. I 100% say like the Bad Bunny match got Damian to this.
I said on the Raw show that I've been watching Damian Priest for a long time. And I
was a Punishment Martinez hater.
Yeah, I was gonna say I never really liked Punishment Martinez.
Same.
I didn't care. Not that I didn't like him. I didn't hate him like Greg did, but I didn't care about him. I was like, all right, whatever. He's the TV champion in Ring of Honor. All right, they're gonna push him and then he leaves. I'm like, oh, okay then, whatever. And I didn't care about Damian Priest.
Martinez beat Hangman Page.
That makes you like him a little bit more.
Fuck you. Anyway, I didn't really. I don't even know if I liked him up until he took that picture with Brandy Lauren in the pool. But
so you're saying you became a fan of Damian Priest when you heard about the illicit hoe story?
Yes, actually. No, I was gonna say. I was actually gonna say when I heard
Damian Priest and Matt Riddle
of him and Matt Riddle, I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool.
I like him.
I like him. He's also Puerto Rican from the Bronx. I'm obligated to root for his success in life.
Yes. I've even joked that like the All Rise is very much a New York Yankees era Judge thing.
It is. It definitely is, though. Did you see the vignette that they did?
Yes. They showed him at Yankee Stadium and doing a bunch of other stuff.
They had him do a fucking interview with Peter Rosenberg walking under the 4 train. And I was like, oh, he's from the Bronx, apparently.
Ah, yes.
I know he's
from
New
York. It was an inferior train to the
Bronx.
sticks, but a respectable one. I kid.
They're all dirty, equally. But good on Damian Priest. I think he's really coming along as a top guy. Greg, you had to hear the reactions on Monday. They were fucking... Yeah. They were out of their minds. Damian fucking...
That's my match.
Max says Jonathan gets
not that one.
No, but I have to set the fucking
okay, set the tone.
Because he says I get love when I love Priest because he's Puerto Rican in New York, but he gets shit when he loves Matt Taven because he's Irish in Boston. Well, Matt Taven has to get better first. And then I said Damian Priest was at the Yankees game. And Matt says Taven was at the AAA and Red Sox game. Good for him.
Oh, wait. If I remember correctly, you know who was at Fenway? Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan at the actual Red Sox game. Wow. Anyway, yeah, good for Damian Priest. Like I said, that reaction for him, for Rhea, for the save, it was like Attitude Era-esque. I couldn't believe it. People were throwing babies for Damian Priest. I was like, wow.
They wanted to make babies with Damian Priest.
Look at how far we've come.
Deep voice.
You're not tying him down. So what is
he can't be contained.
My boy
Max says, and also theory with the Red Sox title. Okay, but he's from Atlanta. That's just wrong.
That doesn't even track.
Messed up.
A-Town somewhere else.
A-Town elsewhere.
They booked Randy versus Gunther for the World Championship at Bash at Berlin. And then my first reaction was like, but...
No, my first reaction was, Randy fucking hates chops.
Somebody did that on purpose. But
B-Town Frown, man.
B-Town Frown. My first thought was, we saw this already, but then I realized, like, this is a good opportunity for Gunther to defeat a legend in front of his own, like, in front of his hometown.
His people, like, a name in front of his, yeah. I wouldn't say his hometown.
His people. I thought he was from Berlin. I don't know.
I think Austria.
He's Austrian. Oh, does he like art?
Shut up. No, stop it.
All right, we got to go on the next one now.
Yeah.
The second time tonight we've been canceled.
We have to find out. No, he's a great man. I've said it before. My favorite WWE guy right now. The best WWE wrestler on the roster. Fuck you guys. I say he's like a cancer of pro wrestling in the body of WWE. Like he shouldn't exist. He shouldn't exist. He really shouldn't. But he does, and now he's world champion.
I'm happy for it.
I am. I am.
Love that.
Big Walter Mark. The only negative thing I ever have to say about him is like I kind of miss when he was heavy.
There was a final boss quality to him when he was super
I'm
heavy.
happy for him.
I am too, but at the same time, I was just like, man, I miss the impact when he had some meat on.
There's something about his face that's scary about the way it is. Like,
I'm not even dealing with that one.
just look at him. Like I would probably follow Gunther to Poland.
Remember when his last name was Gunther Stark?
Oh my god, don't go. Oh my god, I happily forgot about that.
That was actually real bad because that was about to be on TV, and that made Keith Lee tweet the worst tweet that he could have ever tweeted in his life. But it wasn't even his fault. It wasn't even his fault. He meant good things. Julia coming to WWE. We talked about that last week, though. Lots of Deadpool stuff.
I mostly remember us talking about how Julia coming to WWE was just like, well, it's a good thing Camille didn't sign, maybe.
They had Arn Anderson back. You guys caught that main event.
And R.A. Anderson with the Glock.
You got
no Brock, though.
They're coming. So, I mean, we might as well talk about Roman. Roman fucking
Brock?
Reigns. Well, Brock is probably coming back at some point, right?
No, not that Brock.
The other Brock.
Brock Anderson. They're gonna give him a job.
Get that man an NXT deal.
He's gonna.
If anyone will, it'll be Cody.
So Roman Reigns comes back to WWE, instantly makes Cody number 2.
Well,
put up the fucking Max story, please.
Oh wow. Max says he had Walter in the back of his car taking him to Logan Airport with Ivar from the Viking Raiders when Walter was big. He says he was going 70, but the back of his car was going 40. Walter was a big boy.
So is Ivar.
exactly.
But yeah, the final thing we're gonna talk about tonight is this big Roman Reigns story here.
Coming back with the super theme.
That was cool. The WrestleMania epic Roman theme remix. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, man. That music hits. Man. I hadn't heard it in a while.
Yeah.
I was like,
It was interesting because I expected it to just be a one timer, and then he came back with it. I'm like, oh, is this the song now?
I was like, damn. I had my finger in the air. I didn't even realize. I was like, oh shit.
It's just, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Relax. He's not here. Oh shit, that's right. I forgot to bring up Takeshita in particular because they're funny as hell. AEW booked him like he had the Ospreay match, and then they kind of like iffy with him, and then they sent him to the G1. And
who did he Bruce Thunder through the table? If I may can't
they did a street fight. It was like a multi-man though.
Was it Ospreay that he put through that thing?
Kyle Fletcher.
Ospreay's Kohai.
Yeah, they had that. Him and Ospreay had the great match in February. But yeah, like I said, after that they booked him a little weird in multi-mans, and then he goes to G1, and now he's having lifetime performances. Like he's over there making a mark. So
when he bounced Jeff Cobb.
Had a match with Goto, probably Goto's best match in years.
The G1 stands for Goto, John.
Again, it feels good. Last night, this morning, Takeshita and ELP had probably the best match of the whole tournament so far. And what's he gonna do after the G1? Go back to AEW to do nothing? I refuse to accept that. I will not accept that from Tony Khan. There's so many fucking things that I have been
an absolute no-no
to accept. That's an absolute fucking failure. That is dumb. That is walking into a wall with your dick hard. Why are you doing that? Go find something else to do or go take a cold shower, but you're only going to hurt yourself walking into that wall. What is going on in this man's head that he could have somebody like Takeshita in his hands to do whatever he fucking wants? And Takeshita don't got no belt. Takeshita don't got no story. Takeshita don't got shit going on right now. So he's in the G1 because they didn't have nothing to do with him. I don't know. Jesus says if Tony Khan doesn't fix this, I'm gonna call him racist things. I want to find much more interesting words to use for Tony Khan than racial slurs if he fucks this up. I swear I'm gonna
see like racial slurs means John's being lazy.
There's not enough. There's not enough passion in a racial slur for what I have to say to Tony Khan if he fucks this Takeshita thing up.
It's like going Super Saiyan. You have to go another level beyond.
Holy shit. I'm going to have some interesting words for Tony Khan. We'll see, though.
Takeshita, the literal athletic
specimen.
Trust me, I'm going to get him over.
The learning
into the vortex. Under the learning tree.
Ah, man.
10 sport athlete under the learning tree. Let's go.
Takeshita is one of my top favorite wrestlers in the AEW. I can't keep dealing with this. I can't live like this. There's no way. There's just no way.
Do we send him straight after the Adam Page Swerve winner?
He should have just came back and punched Swerve in the face. But no. I think it's too heavy. If he comes right back into a world title, I think you have to strap him up immediately, and it has to be important. So
literally strap him up, give him a gun.
Whichever belt is attached to the biggest guy, like whichever secondary belt is attached to the biggest guy. That sounds like Okada. Give him that one. Okada is probably the one. But do you pin Okada, right?
That's risky.
I would. Takeshi's pinned Omega, right? All you know what you would do? You know what I would do? This is bold as fuck, right? But if you want to go fucking hard, you bring Takeshita back. He gets his win back off of Ospreay, leading to that Okada match. Because then he would have pinned Omega, he would have pinned Ospreay, and then he can pin Okada, and it's legit. It doesn't feel like weird. It's legitimate. He got his fucking. He got his win back.
I love the concept of just Takeshita going just wrestler to wrestler, and he's beating every single one of the top AEW talents.
Yeah, like I said, he's already got the Omega win. If they just keep putting fucking focus on that again, put some emphasis on that again, leading into whatever he does next, and then give him another big win, and then give him the Okada. Fuck yeah.
Who is still is Takeshita still attached to
Callis
family?
And that shit. No. Get that shit the fuck out of here. That shit is a dud. Nah.
Fucking Sean choked that baby in the crib.
No, man, because when they put him with Don Callis, when it looked like it was just gonna be just them two, it made sense.
Takeshita and Will?
Takeshita and Don Callis. He had a manager, and Don Callis would do Don Callis things, and it's fine.
Right. We cover up the language barrier and Takeshita. Yeah.
And all this fucking family shit. Yeah.
Although I did hear people were, it's whatever. I do remember people didn't understand why Takeshita was made a heel, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like the babyface position was too crowded at the time.
And it's always and when you don't have anything to do with a hot babyface, like you said, and it's crowded. Why not just see what we can do?
Just throw him at the babyfaces then.
You can always go back to babyface, and you know it works. And he's got such a listen. I can talk about Takeshita for hours. They need to get that straightened up. he's not going to win the G1, right? That's just not going to happen. But he's
You know what? Let me look at the points right now. Go for
But
it.
if
Go
he
keep
did,
talking.
though,
But I mean, you know, if he did, that'd be
But that's
insane.
that's its own deal, right? Because then you've locked in Takeshita for the Tokyo Dome in January.
Just fucking move over to Japan for the next 6 months.
Yeah, which by the way, I am kind of against, like,
That
because
doesn't happen. That would never happen. That doesn't make any sense in
What are you talking
story wise. Like if Takeshita winning,
oh no, I am against them locking the G1 into the Tokyo Dome. I wish they could stop that.
Yeah. They like it. They got the Royal Rumble vibe going.
No, yeah, I get that, but
it's a
it
very
also
long
like
term Royal Rumble vibe.
well, that yes, but it also locks in the potentialities for the G1 most of the time. You know what I mean? Like you used to have they used to be like anybody could win the G1 and they'd get their title shot, but now it's like, oh, I've got a pretty good idea who's main eventing the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah. I guess you do kind of lock the company into one direction for like fucking 5 months.
I know about winning the G1 Climax, brother.
And like you also just have a pretty good idea looking at the bracket, just like, okay, only like 3 of these people are candidates. You know what I mean?
I just think whatever New Japan does, they're gonna be fucked either way. So I'm interested in seeing how they
tend
dig
to be
their way out of this. They've got the belt on Naito right now, and Naito is fucking fried.
Done, yeah, and he's in the damn thing.
Dying, and he's probably gonna try to put in an incredible performance if they put him in the finals of this goddamn thing, and he's only gonna burn his own battery out.
They are already past the halfway point, which reminds me of how behind I am.
It's hard.
It is, yeah. Especially when I was, you know, we were talking about me doing the ECW thing, and I'm like, after you log in like 3 or 4 episodes of that, I'm just like, do I want to watch more wrestling?
honestly.
As of this moment, even though I think there is a show going on right this moment or in an hour, Zack Sabre Jr. and Evil are tied in Block A at 10 points.
Nice.
Jeff Cobb is leading Block B with 10 points. Hiroki Goto is in second place with 8. As is Yota Tsuji and David Finlay.
Tsuji winning.
I agree. Brian did gives it. Mac says it's got to be Zack Sabre Jr. Brian gave him the rub the other day. He did. I don't think so.
It ain't happening, unfortunately.
Nope.
Our boy Shota Umino is struggling at only 6 points. Konosuke Takeshita does have 8 points in Block B, but so do 4 other guys.
He exists to get someone that 10th point. That 10 to 12 points.
That's about it. A lot of other guys in there. Callum Newman has gotten some shocking wins in this G1. I want to point that out. He pinned, I think, Shota Umino and another big name within the first few shows.
They need to be establishing these new guys, so that's perfect because
yes. Yeah.
We're at a point where everyone's got points at least.
Yeah, but there's no zeros this year. That is definitely something.
That's because Toru Yano is gone.
I'm a little hurt that Evil has so many points, but you know,
damn you, Big Togo.
House of Torture sells that merch, boy.
They love them. But,
oh, damn it.
We'll
Dick
see.
to go.
Just Dick to go. I will take that to dine in. Open up. Anyway, we talk about this Roman Reigns thing at the end of this show today.
Ding, ding.
The original tribal chief. So let me talk about this match real fast. I mentioned this on the SummerSlam show.
Do we have to?
Hello, how you doing?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. You're just in time to talk about Roman Reigns. So
he knew he did.
This match with Cody and Solo Sikoa. The beginning of it is what it is, right? It is exactly what you think the Cody and Solo match is going to be. The bloodline gets involved, and I've realized that this thing was just kind of a baby version of the, like, they did Bloodline Rules, and Bloodline Rules just means the end of the match is gonna have several run-ins. Like that's what it is. And they did kind of a cheap version of the WrestleMania 40 Bloodline Rules ending. So they like, the only reason they killed off Randy and Kevin was so that the Bloodline Rules could have the moment where Randy and Kevin surprise run in.
Sure.
And I was
Can
like,
we
oh,
talk about? Can
okay.
we? Maybe you guys did. Can we spend a few seconds on like Randy Orton's brisk saunter?
Oh yeah, it's funny because Kevin Owens was like full on jogging, like fuck.
He's chucking it.
Yeah, and Randy was like, ha ha, hell nah.
Yeah, I'm Randy Orton.
Randy Orton's running down that. Randy Orton is jogging down that ramp like the kind of old vet, just like, I'm showing this young boy how a pro does it. You use too much energy, dog. You got to learn to work, son. You're working too hard.
Randy just runs in and be like, don't worry, I'll shake their hand.
Hot Tim is talking some wild, crazy shit. He said he's related to. He said he's related to all these wrestlers and they're the Antichrist. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, that's interesting.
This is going somewhere.
Roman Reigns comes out at the end. He's the big return. He helps Solo Sikoa, or he helps Cody Rhodes beat Solo Sikoa. Pins this big motherfucker.
I do love how there is this situation going on in the ring, and Roman is in no hurry to actually get there.
We'll see. Maybe he can do it. But nah, they closed the show with Cody and Roman looking at each other, all crazy. Oh, I love you, but I don't. Nah, it was a cool moment. It was a big ass finish to SummerSlam one that everybody saw coming, but it still felt good. What do you guys
say
think
about the whole pay-per-view?
What do you guys think about them holding out for that Usos reunion?
Wasn't there a story that they were like that Jay got traded to SmackDown or something?
Nobody's traded yet. Jay and Sammy are doing a thing on Raw together, and that they've got paired up because that makes it convenient for both of them to rejoin Roman Reigns.
Of course. So it can be.
I know that it's like a family thing, but I think the babyface bloodline only works if they bring Sammy back in from the. I mean, it'll work either way, but it'll get its full potential if you bring Sammy back in from the beginning. Like I
agree.
Like I need family, like, and they remind everybody that Sammy is family, like part of the bloodline.
But I also logic it to some degree, and maybe because I want to, like, if we're doing the drama show, I want to drag the drama a little bit. I'm of the notion. Shut up. I'm of the notion that, like, Sammy's inclusion is also like a security blanket for Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, I always like the idea of Roman being like, I was taken to the limit by him. Like, we fought and we bled together. I trust him in combat.
I respect him.
Exactly. The huge reaction that's going to happen isn't going to be for anything Uso related, and Sammy's going to be a big one. But we all know it's going to be
that moment when Roman extends his hand to Sami Zayn is going to be like, oh.
It's going to be. Listen, it's when the wise man Paul Heyman comes back and they get that Walrus man out.
Yeah,
you know it.
Triple H is gonna drag the shit out of this story. Oh my God.
We gotta get into November, dog.
It's about to be November 2027.
Oh, shut up.
It's gonna be dragged on longer than Christian Cage and Killswitch.
You said, John, you said Hunter, not Gabe.
They might as well. You know what? I think I know who's been influencing Triple H now. You're right.
Oh no.
Boy, Triple H likes to. He stretched that shit. We're gonna stretch every little plot point. He's like Brian Bendis. Brian Bendis. He'll put 6 issues worth of fucking story in a 12-issue comic. Like, what the fuck? I paid for all this.
Nice. Man. Yeah, I think if I was to write it anyway, yeah, I think the idea is that they obviously try to hook back up. I think Jay's distrust of Jimmy in that situation leads him to be like, if you want me in, we gotta have Sammy in because I trust Sammy here more than I trust you guys.
I like that.
You know,
that works.
And eventually they all just come to like understand each other to some degree. Roman obviously is gonna play it out his way, but as I said, I think that moment where Roman Reigns sort of embraces Sami Zayn to some degree works. I think you also have to take your time with that because, like, I think the chair shot is still pretty fresh.
Yeah, I think all of those.
Yeah, wins the race there.
I think.
I was gonna say, slow and steady wins the race on all of these aspects. Do we foresee anything where it's keep my friends close and my enemies closer in the sense of Cody, you and me?
I think I don't know if you have to run back to Roman versus Cody. I think if anything, I'm not
saying Roman versus Cody. I'm saying like Roman and Cody uniting together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I think I think
are we putting Cody in the War Games match?
I hope not. That's like some Sammy spot. Get him the
That's
fuck
what I'm
out
saying. Yeah.
No.
Remember, it's Cody's the champ.
I just think Roman and Cody team one time because it gives The Rock something to be mad at both of them for, and you want both those matches.
Yes. Did we see the proposed WrestleMania bouts?
No. I know they wanted The Rock versus Cody, but did they also want to do Roman versus The Rock at the same year? That's a little
No. That was that wasn't it.
It's very unlike Triple H.
No, so
that's wasteful for the next 5 years.
Supposedly, the alleged Dave Meltzer guess was Cody Rock, Roman Solo.
I feel like, so you know what it is about Dave is that he's got old conventional thinking. And when he sees something on TV, it makes sense. It does make sense based on what I've seen in front of me that would have been the thing.
By the most classical standards, that would that makes sense.
If it wasn't Solo Sikoa.
Not see Solo in the WrestleMania main event next year.
2 months ago, where Meltzer was saying the main event was going to be, or some of it was going to be Solo and Cody, and Shawn was just like,
fuck. I was like, fuck. I can't believe that shit.
And then he saw it, and he was right.
I was like, fuck, he has to be wrong. But no, the old man knows what the fuck he's talking about. But
I meant to say you were right to be
It was But no, but this Roman versus Solo thing, I think Meltzer's off. I think if it's gonna be anybody, it's gonna be Jacob. They kept Jacob out of the ring with Roman. They did not want Roman and Jacob even touching each other. Yeah. So I think they have big plans for Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. That
does lead into the story that like he was supposed to sell the leg, but then actually ended up getting hurt.
Yeah, like oh shit. They were like, is that the wrong leg?
That was great work. That was fucking great work, Jacob. I'm fucking hurt. Wait, what? Bro, you're like 3 feet into the back. You don't have to still fucking hurt. You're really committing to the bit here, guys.
That was great, though. That was it was great selling if it was selling, and if it wasn't, it was great. It added to the story, like him throwing all the chairs around and being like, "Fuck!" Like, go get him. That was great. That would be a great thing to call back to if they ever had to break them up. I watched you fail. I gave everything up. You failed. You dumb bitch.
I love it. What's this?
Oh yeah, dude. No, that's his own opinion. I don't give a fuck about what. I mean, I still.
How dare he have an opinion?
I'm interested. I'm still like, what did Dave say about this match? But I'm not like, oh gosh, I disagree with it. I'm gonna punch him in his fucking face. How could he have given this 3 stars. It is what it is.
I think it's also just like, I think Dave Meltzer is as allowed as anybody else to have their tastes just kind of be a little malleable as you go on through life, like as mine have been. I think
some people think he has a responsibility to guide people's taste, and it's like, how do you come to that conclusion?
I think they come to that conclusion because he guided theirs.
Like, damn, that sucks. I mean, he guided mine, but I did it willingly. It wasn't like some hypnotism. Like, oh no, it's going the wrong way.
Sure. I always looked at the like, because it's something you can pretty much look up, the Observer like 5-star list.
Yeah.
I think it's just a great guide to stuff you don't know. And, we lost Nick.
Especially in the past.
Yeah,
I'm back.
Yeah, I think it's a great guide to watch stuff you don't know and get an idea of whether or not you like this or not. But it's like I wouldn't judge you too much if like you watched like Masala and Kawada and like you didn't think it was 5 stars. Like maybe that style just doesn't work for you, and that's fine. Maybe you think the Ricochet Will Ospreay one is 5 stars. Like, okay, so that's your thing. Cool. Like it's more of a guide than a doctrine.
Exactly. The end all be all.
Yeah, people want to treat it like it's a doctrine because like Dave Meltzer has created this sort of watcher-like character for himself.
I remember downloading.
It's been consistent for decades.
There was a torrent of Dave Meltzer 5-star matches, and I remember
there was,
being surprised that only 2 WWE matches being in there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. But that's always the thing people get mad at too. Like, why isn't my favorite WWE match have 5 stars? That means he's a hack.
Right.
I'm like, oh fuck. You don't know.
How dare he not like the things I like?
Dave,
and
Dave
also like
is our uncle. You're absolutely right. I mean, in every sense, Dershi Radio doesn't even exist if it's not for Dave Meltzer. What the fuck? Like, that's for real.
Yeah. It's all tastes and all just like that. That's the other funny thing about it too. The idea that that the stuff Dave Meltzer rates is meant to be seen as this like somebody telling you what it is. Like, no, it's just a dude's opinion, and his opinion is 100% vulnerable to his bias. There is no unbiased opinion about art in this situation.
Yeah.
There's no straight answer that was reached through scientific basis and study.
No, but it's funny, like, then he actually will try to be like objective. Man, thing, but it was well performed. Sure. And people will be like, how fucking dare you not like this thing? Like, wait.
Stop this.
Sure.
You can't win. It doesn't matter.
And I think that's one of those things. Me and you have talked about it in the chat rooms. I think the worst mistake he has ever made is attempting to explain it.
Yeah. Poor guy.
And everyone else's critiques on it.
He really wants people to understand, but I'm like, listen, this is pro wrestling. This is the fan base that pro wrestling has. You know what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what it is, man. You know what it is, man.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite versions of these explanations was just like, it's all very well done, but I felt like I knew where it's going because, like, you know how the WWE works their programs.
Yeah.
So, like, there's no surprise because I know how this sandwich gets made. Right. Okay, so it lost a quarter of a star because you knew where every spot was going because there's a systematic order to it. Like, it's the idea of saying, oh, I took a star off this song because I understood how the chord progression was leading to this solo. Like, what the fuck?
That's another thing too. Like you said, some people take it as a grade instead of like these are the stars of my enjoyment.
Yeah.
you know. So that's it. That's what it ultimately is.
Just let it be his fucking opinion, man, and have your own. It's not that hard.
Can we talk about too, like the patience that Dave Meltzer has for the people he replies to on Twitter every single day?
I don't know how the fuck he does that shit.
He's a maniac. He's a maniac. That's why.
Could not.
He is like, I'm going to correct every single fucking person that comes across my way.
Greg and John, how do y'all feel about Michael Oku, and you think he signed with AEW because I believe he will be at the casino match at All In? I actually don't know Michael Oku. John, do you?
Yeah, I've seen him in the. That's messed up. Brady Nick got left out. No, that's fine.
That's fine, I guess.
Michael Oku, I've seen him in Rev Pro. I've seen his Will Ospreay matches specifically. He's really good.
Oh, is he the guy who pinned Will Ospreay recently?
He is. He's the one who pinned
that was his on his way out of the Brit scene?
Yep.
Okay.
He's very good.
Apparently against Mandrews, he's solid. Yeah.
He's gonna be. He's gonna be.
See, you left Nick out. Nick's the one who knows.
Yeah, I'm the one that's watched this dude. What the hell? What's your problem?
He's gonna be at Dynamite in the UK and All In, but under what capacity nobody knows yet.
Okay.
With the hot girlfriend too.
Oh, he was on Jericho's podcast, so I don't trust him. No.
Oh shit.
Oh, he's already lost points. That's 4 stars.
He's good though. A lot of people call him the biggest, like the best wrestler in the UK right now, like Ospreay's successor.
Well, I mean, there's not too many of them, so I don't know what to say.
That's true.
He's the best wrestler in the UK right now. We kind of murdered the scene, though.
Listen, the thing, Mac brings up Eric Bischoff's beef with Dave.
Eddie Dennis is still working there.
Eric Bischoff's beef with Dave is that Dave had inside information on WCW Backstage and was willing to publish it, and it made WCW look bad. That would be like if Tony Khan
you should have figured out who your rats were, Eric.
Yeah, that's the problem. But I'm saying, like, that would be the equivalent of Tony Khan having beef with Fightful, because John Ross Sapp keeps reporting on the backstage fights.
Right.
AEW, like, how dare you? And then he's gonna spend the rest of his life saying he didn't know. Actually, none of it happened. Compulsive liar.
Do you guys remember World War III, 1995, the very beginning of the whole pay-per-view, and Hogan's talking about openly on the start of the pay-per-view how, like, they're predicting the Giant's going to win the Battle Royal, brother. Well, this is a rag sheet, and look at what we think of this. And then throws it into the trash can, lights it on fire, but they put too much lighter fluid in there, so the fire is just raging.
Oh my God. Send me that video, please. I didn't.
It's the very opening of World War III '95.
Yeah,
I need to see this.
It also seems kind of like painfully ironic, the idea of like of Eric Bischoff calling out anybody for using inside information to sabotage someone when that was what they did on live television.
I'm saying.
But he's the exception because he's
like, oh, but you know, it was a war. I'm allowed to do it. That was competition. Like, fuck you.
He's also really mad at that Death of WCW book, but Dave didn't write that. Brian Alvarez did.
It was your friend. You're guilty.
I love that. I don't listen to many of the Conrad Thompson podcasts, but I did listen to one.
Rumors that WCW's rat was Disco Inferno. You know, that is so easy for me to believe.
That makes
sounds
sense.
Right.
I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. Anyway, that means it's time to go.
It's EP time, y'all.
It's time for sleep time. Well, here's the thing. If you weren't done with us and you're like, damn, why y'all going? We're never really gone. Dershi Radio is always on.
Yes, sir.
Mondays after Raw, Tuesdays after NXT, Wednesdays after Dynamite, Thursday morning with the guys. Woo. Thursday night, TNA Impact. Friday, SmackDown. Sunday, Tyler and CJ's Level Up Adventure. And Sunday afternoon, the boys over at 3MT Podcast.
Oh.
Listen, we are literally always on. And when there's pay-per-views on, we come on after that shit too. And you know what? If I got time, maybe we'll come on after the G1 finals. I don't know. I'm a maniac.
He's a maniac.
mostly. Oh, Conrad was definitely
Conrad.
cooked. They cooked the shit out of him because
tell me.
Oh,
he called Cody Rhodes the best wrestler in the world because of sales.
Interesting.
He said that there's only one metric that we can measure wrestling by, and it's sales. And I was like, that
is a take, yes.
That's a take, but that's like the bottom of the barrel, like garbage ass robot take. Like that's fucking trash. That's like McDonald's got the best burger take. Like that instantly that kills everything, right? That kills everything. McDonald's has the best burger. A McDonald's burger is not nasty, but it's not the best burger. It's fairly low on the list of burgers. Little Caesars is not bad pizza.
Sure.
But it is fairly low on the list of pizzas I want to eat.
That reminds me of the Al Snow point. Like, what's the best match of WrestleMania 3? It's Hogan and Andre because it drew the house. I'm like, okay. I recognize your point of view. I don't fucking agree with it, but that's neither here nor there.
It's the best song you ever heard. It's a Sabrina Carpenter song. Like, shut the fuck. What is Conrad talking about? So yeah, he got cooked. I'd leave him alone.
Now I'm curious what song sold the most records.
It's gonna be.
I want to know what the best song ever is, John.
According to Hank Hill, it was Zamfir.
No.
Steamboat Savage, but they didn't draw the house, Mac. They didn't draw the house. Doshi Radio, what up? What up, Hunter? Man, I'm sorry that you joined us. Sorry that you joined us at the end. But if you rewind, we had a great episode tonight, and you can catch it live every Thursday morning, or you can catch it on Spotify in just a few hours. For you can listen to it on your way to work, or you can just throw it up on YouTube on your way to work. Honestly, I prefer you did it on YouTube because then we would have more subscribers and we need them, and I don't really know how to boost the YouTube yet.
Oh, John, just get ready for my video content I'm planning.
Jesus says respect Espresso song. I actually like Espresso. My wife doesn't like that I bring up Sabrina Carpenter in the house. Unfortunately, she does not like life. She does not like. She was like, "Why else would you like Sabrina Carpenter? Because the music's not good." And I was like, "Well, no, you gotta understand."
My answer to that is easy. She was Maya Hart, and that's enough for me.
Yes, I was like, that's what I'm trying to tell her. Like, I watched Girl Meets World. Like, it's interesting to me. It's always interesting to me to see somebody be successful in something else entirely.
Yeah.
She's like, no, she's just very pretty. I'm like, whatever.
John, you're opening the door. Salem's gonna swoop on in.
Jesus Christ.
According to this list, I can't pick up a song, but the highest selling record of all time is Thriller, and that might be okay.
Actually, I'll be okay with that.
But, that's what I was gonna say. That's a respectable
only
choice.
time it works. Okay, we go back to the McDonald's thing. Go back to the McDonald's. It works better for my analogy.
I was like, damn, Thriller got us.
Sydney Sweeney, though. Jesus, don't get me in trouble with my wife. Get out of here. Listen, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Please follow us on all the social medias that you can find us on. This isn't the end. My voice is on Instagram and Facebook in this Dirt Sheet Radio thing. Nick, Greg, they're here doing every fucking thing, keeping this goddamn thing alive.
Follow Nick LaRocco on Facebook if you see him.
Follow Nick on Facebook. Follow Greg, but he doesn't use it.
Follow John Escudero on Facebook.
Follow Jon Escudero. I think they do. I've been on a roll, baby.
Oh, that is fucked up, Mac.
What did he say?
Sweetie got down.
We cannot